Gabbard are backing President Trump's assessment that Iran's nuclear facilities have been completely destroyed. And Defense Secretary Hegseth says there is additional confirmation beyond those two sources.
The director of the CIA putting out a statement just last night. CIA can confirm that a body of credible intelligence indicates Iran's nuclear program has been severely damaged by recent targeted strikes.
The BBC's Jay Kwan.
The White House had dismissed a leaked Pentagon report which said the strikes had only set back the program by a few months and that the enrichment
benefits hit a 6-week low last week. No signs of an increase in layoffs. Although some Democrats want to impeach President Trump yet again, most members of the House Democrat caucus have no appetite for that.
Led by Congressman Al Green of Texas, dozens of Democrats, including New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, voted on Tuesday in favor of beginning an impeachment inquiry into Mr. Trump's strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities over the weekend, a move which numerous Democrats, as well as Republican Thomas Massie, said was unconstitutional. But most of their caucus was against that response to the U.S. involvement in Israel's war against Iran. On Tuesday, the impeachment inquiry vote was defeated, with 128 Democrats joining all present House Republicans and voting it down. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
On Wall Street, ahead of this morning's opening bell, stock futures higher. The Dow futures are up 95 points. NASDAQ futures better by 92. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Why'd I go to the doctor? One day at the firehouse, I was so lightheaded I could barely stand. Even my crew noticed. Getting checked out was the right call. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit NoTimeToWait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Third day. The original members reunited for the 30th anniversary tour, playing all the hits. With special guest Zach Williams. Tickets available Friday at AwakeningFoundation.com. Third day, the 30th anniversary tour.
You just call my name.
An Awakening Foundation event.
On the heels of the NATO summit,
European Union leaders are meeting in Brussels to address key global and regional issues. On the agenda Thursday will be discussions on tougher sanctions on Russia, US trade tariffs, and the situation in the Middle East. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will join via video conference as the EU debates further sanctions and a Russian oil price cap. Defence and security dominate the agenda following a NATO summit, where leaders pledged increased defence spending. Internal divisions persist, however, including tensions over Israel's conduct in Gaza and climate policies. The summit's conclusions will set the agenda for the bloc for the next 4 months. I'm Karen Shemas.
A Chilean traveler recounting a dramatic escape from Iran amid Israeli airstrikes. Diego Hargo is biking across Iran with his dog. He fled to Turkey last Sunday after 12 days of escalating conflict. News and analysis, townhall.com. California has been found in violation of Title IX. It's another clash with the Trump administration over transgender athletes.
The Trump administration has found that the California Department of Education and the state's high school sports federation violated civil rights law by allowing transgender girls to compete on girls' sports teams. The federal education department announced the finding Wednesday. The agency proposed a resolution that would require California to bar transgender women from women's sports and strip transgender athletes of records, titles, and awards. It's the latest escalation in the Trump administration's effort to bar transgender athletes from women's sports nationwide. I'm Geffen Coolbaugh.
The Justice Department has closed a civil rights investigation into a planned Muslim-centered community near Dallas without filing any charges. The Epic City project had faced criticism and claims that it would exclude non-Muslims. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Thursday.
Ah, yes, the penultimate of your work week.
And you may notice if you look out a window right now.
Oh my God!
That's called sunshine.
What the? There's blue up there.
The sun's
I know it's
out.
weird for us to say because we never have
I know.
clouds.
But after this week,
Yeah, we had our trip to Seattle. Okay,
Yeah.
Here's the problem. It's not even the rain. I enjoy the rain, the coolness, while the rest of the country's boiling. You know, we've had it relatively nice this week. What I'm tired of is everything being just
damp.
Yeah. Like damp and then sticky. Like everything is just I don't like that. That's why I like dry.
It's just like living in a house with one big swamp cooler. Just making everything muggy.
Yeah, and it points out all the stuff on, like, for example, your house that you should probably have caulked like 2 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, hey, there's that spot. Well, off to Home Depot I go this weekend.
Yeah, you set up a tab over there. So. But
yeah, everything's swollen, everything's damp, and I'm ready for the dry out for a bit.
We still have rain chances for the next couple days.
But that's
they're
what's
like
going to keep it nice.
20-30%.
Exactly.
Not 50-80 and not all day rain.
Yeah.
So, I think we're done for that for the moment.
Yeah.
So
it was funny. My the forecaster on my phone was even saying 99%. Like, he wasn't willing to fully commit, but 99% chance.
Right. Like, yeah, now we're just looking at like today's a 30% chance of afternoon showers, mainly after 3. Partly cloudy, 88 for a high today. So that's kind of normal monsoon rain chances. 20% tonight. So, and then 20% Friday, Saturday, no talk of rain, but Sunday, Monday's gonna we got like a 40% Monday and Monday night.
I mean, you can't be mad at it. I can't. I can't stay mad at you.
Right.
You know, you want to, but
hopefully between now and that 40%, we have a chance for Lake Home Depot to go down and the other various retention ponds and things
personally,
around the area.
I think we should host a regatta. Just right there at the start of Lake Home Depot, and then the first one to like halfway, like the first one to the sheds.
That's right.
Takes it. Same thing's going on with the out in front of the Pepsi plant out there.
Oh yeah,
they
got several retention ponds out there.
It's
there's one by my house. It's pretty full.
Is it?
Like it's not overflowing, but if 2 more rains or so like it, we might have it might retain into the street.
Could over retain.
Yeah, but maybe today it'll.
Did
go
you
down a bit.
see there was footage coming out of Albuquerque? So I guess, and I didn't know this or I didn't realize this because it doesn't really rain that often. But running down I-40 in the middle is an arroyo.
Okay.
So that arroyo got just overflowing and was slamming into the overpass.
Oh, okay.
And it was just kicking like showering
like the
water,
sea,
water
like a
over.
sea, like on the like at the boardwalk.
Yeah, just shooting it over both
High tide
sides of
rolls in,
I-40.
yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty bad up there for a minute.
Huh. See, that's that one day they tell you don't play in the arroyos. It literally does come that quick. I mean, let's face it though. I mean, come on. Like,
Yeah.
It ain't rained in a month.
They
You're
really
like, all right,
should. They really should go ahead and finish that with during monsoon season.
Yeah.
Other than that, go nuts. If it's like September, go have fun in Arroyo, kids. If anybody says no, tell them that the guy on the radio said it was fine.
I'm not going to lie. As a kid, we basically played, every day for a good portion of years right near the drainage ditch.
Some of my best memories come from arroyos and drainage ditches. Are you kidding me?
So many good Army games and everything else out there. And in the winter, when we got snow once or twice, that would be a place we go sledding, sort of. And the retention pond would turn into a little ice.
Yeah.
So you kind of hit the thing and then had an ice rake as you shot across. It was
pretty sweet.
But anyway, happy Thursday.
Yes.
Less rain is hopefully on the forecast here. So enjoy the drying out a little bit here. And of course, you're like, 88 won't be bad, but it's going to be humid as a sucker today.
It's going to be muggy.
Because let's see, what is humidity? I haven't looked at humidity this morning. It's at 84%.
84.
So
88 with 84.
Yeah.
That's nice.
So.
By the way, sorry about yesterday.
You feeling better?
I'm feeling much better.
Good.
It was a rude awakening, though. Once I was finally like, okay, we're fine. We're able to keep stuff down for a little while. Let's get you to grandma's and let's get me to work.
So I'm assuming a food because you and your
for Rhiannon, it was totally acid.
Oh, okay.
She's been getting.
I thought maybe y'all had some food poisoning. Y'all ate something together.
It feels young, but she has been getting acid reflux. I think I'm gonna start getting her on famotidine or something.
Yeah.
But for me, I'm not sure. I think I had some bad soup. Yes, of course it was soup. The cause of and solution to all of my problems. But then I get in my car and my back tires pressure is at 6. I'm like, all right, we're not going anywhere yet, kids. So I had to put in a Walmart delivery order for an air compressor because I don't know where my old one is. Finally get it over to Lycan's Tire. They patch the tire up and they show me it's literally just like I know it's for the radio. This is like a
shard of metal,
1-inch shard of steel, essentially. Like some people said they thought it was wood. But this little thing took my entire tire out.
Fossil.
Yeah. That was actually brought. Is that bone? Yes, a femur that took me out. Turns out.
Hey.
Collarbone.
You ask people from outside of New Mexico, they're like, it's the Breaking Bad state. Of course there's a bone fever.
Bones in the streets? Makes total sense.
Blew in from the wind in the desert.
But, so back road worthy. Big thanks to Lycan's Tire for that. But it was a rough day yesterday.
Well, hopefully today will be better.
I can't. I mean, it could, but let's keep optimistic.
Yeah. Speaking of Breaking Bad, I'm getting my wife to watch Better Call Saul.
Oh, okay.
So now
from the start?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been doing it for a minute now. We're now about 1 or 2 episodes deep into season 3.
Okay.
So I am bound and determined to finish it this time.
Cool.
I got about to hear. And that's when I just got busy and never finished.
I think I'm right there with you. So you're in first couple episodes of season 3?
Yes.
All right, then.
So I'm going to finish.
I'm going to concurrently watch along with you. That way we can...
So we're going to hit you with breaking Better Call Saul.
That's right.
Did you know? Yeah, that was 5 years ago, bud.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward to getting into this Simon and Simon series next. Wet my whistle with a little 21 Jump Street.
I'm going to find out who shot JR.
And by God, McMillan and wife, you're on the list. There were really some awful names for TV shows back in the 80s.
It's all the season finale of Too Close for Comfort. Do you remember that show?
I do. I was going to say there
was a whole period of the 80s where a man named Jim J. Bullock was kind of famous.
James J. Bullock, yes. No, it was what pops into my head for some reason when I think about that nostalgic era of TV was the Nikita and Silk Stockings Hour on USA.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was when they were trying to get edgy.
Truly salacious on network TV.
To be honest, shows like that begat shows like Suits.
Yeah, pretty much.
Without Suits, there'd be no. What was those shows again? Those 80s or 90s hot garbage USA shows.
Oh, just all everything.
Stockings.
Yeah, everything on USA back in the 90s was woof. It was rough.
Well, yeah, they were trying. Oh, speaking of that, and then I'll get the rundown and all that. I have never really watched the Dexter series, but I know it's a pretty popular one.
Right.
And now they've kind of rehashed it to a new Dexter
I think they
series.
rebooted it, and that might even already be done.
Well, no, I just saw advertisements, I think, for either a new season of it or a new something. But apparently they signed pretty much every Hollywood celebrity known to man to appear in it. Anywhere from Peter Dinklage to, who else did I see in it? Oh, it was a whole slurry of celebrities.
Because he's...
Neil Patrick Harris. Wow. I mean, it's like everybody and everybody's going to be in this new Dexter series.
I never really watched Dexter. I know of the popular. I do know how infuriated people got at the finale.
Yeah.
Like I'm friends with a guy who was super duper Dexter fan.
Yeah.
And he finally got to the finale, and he was mad for a week.
Like it was Sopranos mad.
Yeah, like Sopranos. Why do they end in the middle? Yeah, they said it was unsatisfying. They left open-ended questions and.
Well, good news. They've got about 6 more Dexter series now.
Oh, he was just as stoked when
they got the Dexter. CU, the Dexter Cinematic Universe, the DCU.
But what that show reminds me of, and I watched several seasons of this, surprisingly, because it's one of those. It's not my genre. I hate this kind of thing, but I religiously for a minute watched the show Nip Tuck.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That was big on like FX or one of those.
It was huge on FX. Yeah, for like 3 seasons I watched the whole series with the Carver.
Yeah,
where it turned out to like be his brother.
Rosie O'Donnell was in that series.
She was.
Was she a regular or just like a one-off?
She was a one-off.
Okay.
But the thing about that show was every single episode they showed, and I know it was done on like fake mannequins.
Yeah.
But just graphic plastic surgery.
Yeah, it was pretty dark.
Slicing open. Yeah. And, the gore of that show would have turned me off today, but I was obsessed with that show for a minute.
The people that like that show, I think, also like those surgery shows where they show them doing surgery on TV. You ever seen those?
Yeah, and I can't watch those.
I can't either.
I've never been able to.
My wife likes them. Me, nope. I went on to do with them. She also likes that booger or the pickin' shit. The one with
the
all
pimple popper.
Yeah, those are.
It's weirdly popular with women, and I've never figured out what the correlation is between pimple popping and. But then that's the crazy part is the last time I had a partner or was in a relationship, it was very much the same. Ooh, can I? Like if I have like a bump on my back, I'll take care of it.
My wife loved it.
Dude,
yeah.
I kind of don't want you to.
I know. My wife.
Mean, I would appreciate it, but at the same time, I don't want you to enjoy it.
I remember back in the day of that too. Now even still this day, no. No. Pick your own.
I can do this thing now where I can like connect my hands. So if there's anything in this quadrant or perimeter, I can take care of it myself.
Not like that video with the beefed out dude where they puts the sticky note in his back and he can't get it.
That guy is Brian Cage, by the way. He's an AEW wrestler, and they've pulled that on several occasions. It's just when you get to a point where your lats are so big, your arms they only have a certain range of motion.
Yeah, I'm just guessing I don't know if he's got like a rubbing post up in his shower to clean that part of his body.
Yeah, pretty much. I got a rag on a stick. That's how I scrub me.
All right, let me give you the rundown for today's show. We're going to replay our interview we had with Elliot Rodriguez from Loan Depot earlier this week here in just a few minutes. He always has great information and advice for home buyers and potential home buyers. Don Weld wearing his Friends of Bitter Lake Zoo, not Bitter Lake. I just combined like 10 things. Friends of Spring River Zoo.
There you go.
That's what he's going to. But I think we'll get some updates on Friends of Bitter Lake.
Friends of Bitter Alzheimer's.
Just hit him with them all. But we'll get an update from all the organizations that he champions. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, about 9:15, Crystal Noble will join us from the Roswell Humane Society. Give us an update on pets and sales and things like that.
Oh, so we have something in the comments.
Yeah.
For Dexter, the ending of the show was horrible. And the new show with his son was equally horrible. This new prequel was really good. And the brand new series is a stretch, but a good watch.
Okay.
That's coming from Antonio Galindo.
All right. Well, thank you. I know, like, the commercial I saw last night, they're literally Columbo in it. Well, I don't know if every episode's going to have a celebrity in it, but...
So it seems like they're expanding it Walking Dead style almost.
I guess. But I was like, man, they must have got a budget because they've got the who's who of actors right now going to be on this show. So
what are we going to do, boss? Dexter. Relaunch it. Make it good this time.
He kills people, but he's a good guy.
He's a badass with a heart of gold.
Right. He's a serial killer, but he's a good guy. All right, 7:20. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Still some showers and thunderstorms hanging around today. We have that humid air coming in from the south. Mix of sun and clouds will be in the upper 80s on the afternoon high. Some lingering showers overnight will stay cloudy or low in the upper 60s. Mix of sunshine and clouds on Friday and a few more afternoon thunderstorms going up to about 90. Drying out for the weekend, sunny highs in the 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 68 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 84%. Winds currently out of the northwest at 5 miles per hour. As I mentioned, we got rain chances, but not like as heavy as previous days' rain chances. Today we're looking at a 30% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms, partly cloudy, 88. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. 20% for tonight, mainly before 9 p.m., mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 67 degrees. Southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. Friday, we are looking at a 30% chance at afternoon showers, mostly sunny. 92 tomorrow with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 20% tomorrow night as well, mainly before midnight, mostly cloudy. Overnight low of 68. And then for the weekend, no talk of rain Saturday, just mostly sunny skies, and a high of 94. South winds 5 to 10. Sunny and 96 on Sunday. So that's kind of more of the temps and feelings we're used to. And then Sunday night, there's a 20% chance of rain. Monday, we're looking at a 40% chance of rain. Otherwise, sunny and 93. And then a 40% Monday night. And then 30% for Tuesday and Wednesday of next week here. So we'll see. We're in monsoon season, but now it's maybe just, we get the one rain a day thing or whatever instead of, all day kind of stuff. So we'll see. But it looks like it'll be less, so maybe we get a chance to dry out a bit here. All right, 7:22. We're going to take a 3-minute break here, and then we're going to play our interview we had earlier this week with Elliot Rodriguez from Lone Depot. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Lights, camera, action. Get superhero savings during our summer blockbuster sales event going on right now at Roswell Ford. Hey Roswell, you don't need to be a hero to pay zero. Drive home a new Ford with 0 down and 0 payments this summer. Plus, at Roswell Ford, everyone gets employee pricing. You heard right. At Roswell Ford, you pay what we pay on our huge inventory of new Fords. Stuck in your loan or lease and want out early? Roswell Ford can get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Don't let the credit villains keep you from driving your dream car. At Roswell Ford, getting approved is a possible mission, so you can pay what we pay. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to find the best car and get massive American-made savings and the best car buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, because we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balances refinanced to new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined.
The 2025 UFO Festival is coming to downtown Roswell July 3rd through the 6th.
Many files are classified, but here's what we know so far.
Performing live, the 44th Army Breaking Brass Band and Green Chili Gumbo Band, GDP, Progressive Space Rock with Alien Armor, and Sunday local karaoke. Then Saturday the 5th, it's Tyrone Vaughn along with Josh Knight.
The classified schedule of events can be found at UFOfestival.com.
Presented by the City of Roswell, Main Street Roswell, and paid for in part by the City of Roswell Lodgers Tax.
Growing things in Roswell is a battle. Your lawn's trying to turn brown, your trees are wanting to turn yellow, the weeds want to take over, and the fleas and ticks are trying to move in. So come down to Roswell Seed Company and choose your weapons. We have fertilizer to make your lawn lush and lovely, iron to keep your trees nice and green, sprays to kill the weeds, and more sprays to chase away the fleas and ticks. This is Ben Manette from Roswell Seed Company. Yeah, it's a jungle out there, except it never rains.
Visit Bush Appliance in Roswell to see the Whirlpool washer with 2 ways to wash, thanks to the 2-in-1 removable agitator with a flexible capacity so you can take the agitator out for bulky loads or keep it in for items like jeans. Shop now at Bush Appliance in Roswell and get twice the washer that you have at home. Who you gonna call? Bush Appliance in Roswell. Stop by 111 West Country Club in Roswell or call 575-622-6390.
It's a great time to buy a Kubota. From America's #1 selling compact tractor to zero-turn mowers and versatile RTVs. Get your perfect match delivered to your door. Now through June 30th. Get 0 down, 0% APR for 84 months, or up to $3,000 off an L3302 compact Kubota tractor. Now through 6/30/2025. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for more information. Visit Amigo Machinery in Roswell or see us online at amigo-machinery.com.
The tool used to measure your feet at the shoe store is called a Brannock device. The person that measures your feet at home for no reason is called a creep with a foot fetish. Here's Mike Winters.
From Lone Depot, Elliot Rodriguez back with us. Good morning, Elliot.
Good morning, Roswell.
How are you doing?
We doing good. Still dry now.
Still dry. But I will say I'm noticing a lot more for sale signs going up and people buying and selling homes. It seems like people are starting to dabble back into real estate again. At least.
Yeah, I literally put 8 signs this weekend on people's houses.
Nice.
So yeah, it's coming up.
Yeah. So people, which I'm gonna say that's probably a good sign, right? When you see people trying to upgrade homes and do things like that, that's an indicator that people have a little money.
Well, the market, like I was saying, is trying to heal itself with all the nonsense that's happening all over the world and everything.
Well, anything in the financial world with the world is what it is right now is going to be nuts.
It's going to be crazy. So it keeps going up and down, up and down. I mean, it's literally trying to get to where it was maybe like around August, okay? And a lot of people always ask me, like, when's the best time to lock it up and do it? Like,
well, when you need one.
Whenever you're ready, let's do it. If you're going to wait, it's like the bus going to come true and you're going to miss it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, if you're especially a first-time buyer, if you're looking to buy a house, and you say this every time you come on the show, is that, the perfect time for you to buy the house is right now, when you're ready to buy that home, when the interest rates and all that, you're in it for the long haul. That's what we're trying to say. When you're buying your first home, you're really in it for the long haul because ideally, the plan is you're never renting again. You're buying your home, and then you're going to, whether you stay in that home the rest of your life, which is not probably the case.
That's true.
Or when you go on to the next home, you're buying another home, and ideally, because you built up some equity,
you're upgrading.
You're going to get a little bit bigger home or a little bit more, and that's ideally how the dream works. Is you buy the home early, you get married or whatever it is, and you buy that first home together. And then all of a sudden you have kids, and you're like, okay, now we got to get a bed, another bedroom in the house or whatever it is.
Correct.
And then, you get to your point wherever you're having your 2.5 kids, and you got your 3-bedroom, two bath house, and you got your little scenario, and then the kids go to college and retire, and then you go back and all right, now we're going into condos and getting into life after the kids, but at the same time you're always buying, and you're always. And to be honest, you're always investing back in yourself.
And you should be.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're not, you're doing something that it shouldn't be.
If you're paying a rent payment, you're not investing back in yourself.
As crazy as it is, my wife and I are like constantly talking about, are we going to stay in this house?
Sure.
Are we going to upgrade it in here? Are we going to go and find a new house? And then we waited on God to show us the right house so we can actually
that's when you can get choosy. Once you're in the game.
Yes, when you have your house.
Yeah, then you can wait or not wait or whatever you want to do.
So through the whole weekend, I was thinking about what am I going to talk about? Because there's so many things that we can talk about, And he came to me because I saw some stuff this weekend and talking and seeing and all the stuff that's happening in the world and everything. I mean, let's go, folks. I mean, there's a lot of things that
we got
everybody's worrying about.
Right now,
everybody's worrying about everything. Folks, if you start thinking about all the things that are happening overseas and everything, you'll drive yourself crazy. So don't do that to yourself. Stay positive and hope for the best, and just prepare for the worst. But in the meantime, still take care of you and your family, and do the right thing for yourselves. If you've been thinking and planning to buy a home, don't deviate from that. Okay, you still need a place to live anyway.
Absolutely.
So don't let the fear-mongering get into your way, and that you end up not doing what you're supposed to for yourselves. Because in the end of the day, you still need a place to live. Now, the reason I was thinking about this is because I was kind of like contemplating a lot of different things in what I do, and like say, you know what? A lot of folks are out there trying to choose and buying homes and who is going to help me and so on. if you want a lender that's going to take care of you, and I'm just going to put it out there, folks, you need to call me and my team. I'm sorry. I'm just going to put it like this. If you want somebody that really do care about what is the outcome is going to be for you and take care of you correctly, you need the right people to take care of you. I got a lot of competitors, and I'm not saying some of them are not good at all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that I have more faith and, trust my team and what I do and what we actually try to do and deliver for our community and for everybody, that we will have your interest in hand and try to take care of you.
Well, and this is a thing that, and if you've never applied for a house before or done anything, is that you will learn that certain places, certain companies, it's put it this way: if you have an 800 credit score and a 10% down payment and all the boxes checked, any lender
will take care of
you.
it.
They will be happy to talk to you. But the reality is 99.99% of us aren't in that scenario. There's something not quite there.
And
or
that
this
is
is
so
not
true.
and certain lenders, certain ways, if it ain't easy money, then they're not going to invest the time into you. And this is where Elliot's like, look, you're the first-time home buyer, and you don't know a dang thing about this. I will be your Sherpa. I will help you through this. If the numbers don't jive, I will help you get to a point where the numbers will jive. It's not, that's the difference. They'll run the credit check and be like, yeah, you're a lost cause. See you later. Good luck to you. Elliot's looking at it and saying, okay, right now I can't make the numbers work. But if we fix this and this and do it this way in 6 months or 3 months or whatever, come back to me and next thing you know, we're approved now. And that's the difference here. We're a bigger company that it's all about hitting goals and numbers and everything else.
Yeah, some places don't care.
Yeah.
I guess that's too far to put it like that, but it feels that way. Okay. And it's what I see from a lot of people, because I feel bad for some people that should own a home and they don't because somebody didn't took the extra step to take care of them.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like, it's the craziest thing,
Well, and you work in an industry where, yes, if you have the perfect boxed people that check all the boxes, then your job's relatively easy. You're just, filling in the numbers and signing contracts. And companies make a lot of money doing that, working just to those clientele. But most of us aren't that kind of clientele. We've got a credit issue, or you're behind here, or a divorce, or a bankruptcy, or whatever's in your life there. That's a black mark on your credit, and that's where Elliot, that's the thing is we can, you don't need an 800 credit score to get a house but there's ways to do all this stuff, and that's where Elliot will sit down, and you're like, hey, it's my first time home buying. I don't have the 10% or 20% to put down. All right, well, there's programs to help with that.
I'm laughing inside what Mike is saying as far as the 800 credit scores. Yeah, I do want you to have 800, by the way.
Sure.
But it's true what he says.
Yeah.
Because I deal with a lot of people that don't have credit sometimes. And that because you don't have no credit doesn't mean you cannot buy a house. Okay. You just need the right company, the right team, the right lender to take care of you. And folks, when I say lender, I'm talking about my team and I, okay? The lending company, it is Loan Depot. So I've been blessed that I work for a big, humongous company that gives me the resources to help you guys.
Sure.
And we got programs from the government that are available to take care of people.
Well, big companies, they have they have the ability to offer the big discounts. And this is where Loan Depot is the hodgepodge of best, where it's, yes, you're tapped into all the programs that are national and everything else. But at the same time, you're their agent. You're the guy that they talk to. You don't have to go through the gauntlet of phone things or go through some app and check these boxes. You literally just pick up the phone, call Elliot, or go down to the office and talk to Elliot or his team, and they'll sit down and handle your questions, your issues, and things. And trust me, when you're going through the home buying process and getting all the financials approved, it is so helpful when you have that person, because that's when you find out, okay, this thing's all being held up because you forgot to pay a $10 Amazon bill, and that's literally, and the other company will say, that's why, good luck to you, bye-bye now. Elliot's going to be like, look, you got $10 to pay this bad boy? Let's do that. Guess what? This all goes away here, or what do we, sometimes it's as simple as that.
Let me tell you something. I have a deal that we're closing today, this afternoon, okay? And one of my competitors, one of the big guys, like us, literally dropped the ball. Okay, couldn't make it happen for many reasons, folks. And this is the difference. And I was just sending a message to one of our partners, real estate agents this weekend, because we got another deal approved that it was a nightmare. It went really backwards. Because folks, I might sound like Harry Potter sometimes with a magical wand, but I don't control the world.
Right.
Okay, but one of the things that my team and I do is, we are ready for all the hiccups that can happen. See, the problem is a lot of lenders out there don't care about the customers enough. If you want a lender that can go the extra mile to take care of you, my team Okay, we are it.
It's an industry where it's easy to, if the numbers jive, if all the, like everything on paper looks good, that's what they care about. And they don't realize there's human beings that are attached to these numbers and things, and that's the difference.
And that's the equation that I try to keep inside the calculation, okay? Because the fact of the matter, I don't care, even us as a company, okay? We're going to look at the numbers.
Sure. The numbers have to work. That's just
no matter what.
That's just math.
But my team and I, okay, we are here watching all the angles, finding every other options just in case. And I always say we uncover every stone to make it happen. Okay, that is the difference, and that's the recipe right there for success, to overcome all those little things. Let me tell you something. Last month ago, we lost the deal, not because we couldn't do the deal, because we have hiccups. Things happen. Guess what? I overcame every single hiccup, everything that happened. But in the end, the seller and the buyer end up not seeing eye to eye, and they killed the deal.
Gotcha.
Okay. Guess what, folks? I'm on the contract for another house now, for the same individual.
Well,
so you see what I'm saying?
That was a price difference, and this is where
it happens,
And this is at the end of the day, and this is where the beauty of real estate is if the homeowner doesn't want to sell, the homeowner, you know what I mean,
yeah,
or is
things
asking
happen
for
whatever reason. Yeah.
But I'm telling you right now, and this is the thing: if you're a first-time home buyer and you're thinking, all right, now's the time to. The first call you need to make is to a guy like Elliot, not the real estate agent. This is what I want to tell you. I mean, yes, real estate agents will.
Yeah, of course.
But and I'm telling you right now, because you got to know how much money you have, how much you can spend, and a real estate agent, they're going to ask you first thing out of their mouth. You're looking to buy a house. What's your budget? And you need to know that answer. And that's why you need to talk to a guy like Elliot first, because Elliot will sit down and this is where he's real with you and say, okay, I can crunch these numbers here and get you qualified for a $300,000 house. But if you want to eat food and have furniture in this house, then you probably should look for a $200,000 house. And that's and Elliot will tell you that. Not all lenders will tell you that. Look, we can get you in a $400,000 house. Wonderful.
Correct.
I'm living in lawn chairs and paper plates in my $400,000 house now because I can't afford anything else.
What is that? I don't have a TV. I'm using my tablet.
Right, exactly. Here's my TV on my smartphone.
But you know what, folks? And I understand the market has increased. The houses are more expensive. So yes, there's a few sacrifices sometimes.
Sure.
The fact of the matter is we're grown up people. Okay. And if you're ready to make the leap of owning a home, okay, you need a lender that will really walk you through the whole process.
Yep.
That will be patient with you, okay? Folks, we are here to take care of you. One of the things that I can guarantee you, and in my business we don't guarantee, okay? Just keep this in mind, folks that are listening, okay? Nobody can guarantee you that you can buy a house. But I guarantee you that I will go over the mile and take care of this for you and deliver for you. You follow my lead.
I'm about to say, if you listen to what he does and do what he says, I guarantee you'll probably get in the house. Yeah.
Let me tell you something that is so amazing. So I just got in touch with a customer from Colorado Springs when I was working over there and I was a branch manager over there. Okay. These folks were about to lose everything when I was just a junior officer.
Okay.
And I literally got my first branch and I was the brand new branch manager. So I thought I can save the world, do everything. So I was very excited. It's like, oh, shoot, I made it. Okay. These people I treated like they were my parents. Okay. They were literally one step to bankruptcy.
Wow.
Okay. I tell them, do this, do that. So I was already, God gave me this brain. I mean, I might not be perfect, folks, and I made mistakes just like any other human being.
Sure.
But let me tell you something. If there's a way, I will find a way to make it happen.
You're putting them in a better financial situation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember how these folks, and I have remembered this all these years. And you know what? God is so good that it just came back to me just now.
Really?
Okay, this is so interesting. On an event that it was bad, it reminded me of something that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
So I helped the people. They did what I asked them to them. And they got rid of one property, paid some stuff off. I told them what to do. I refinanced them. And folks, these people were back again to retirement status.
Nice, good.
Because they had the money. They was just so upside down and all over the place. And nobody sit down and took a minute to help them. So I saved their home with their assist, doing what I asked them to do. And they were so fine all these years. So recently, just a few days ago, I just got a call and I started talking to her, and her husband passed away. So that's the negative part, okay? And I guess she's in a little trouble, and a lot of bad things have happened in the family after I've been gone all this. I mean, I've been gone 15 years, folks. So it's been a while.
Life has happened for them.
Life happens for them, good and bad. So she just reached out to me. They have a close to $1 million home. They're in debt about $200,000 and some change, And I was talking to Kelly, my new loan officer, and we were discussing, because I was sharing, what I'm sharing with everybody right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at these people like my parents, so it's like, okay, so let me refinance and let me take care of you. So they did an application. I'm going to work it and take care of them and just do a reverse mortgage for them, and she will be set up for the rest of her life.
Good
folks. This is a customer from 15 years ago.
At 6 companies ago, at least.
So take a look at the scenario. What I'm trying to tell you.
Sure.
Here, okay. I still have the same number.
Yeah.
I don't disappear. I'm still here for them.
And that's
I'm still here for any of you.
And that's your end game. And this is why when we're at the beginning, when we're saying, he wants to work with these first time, because ideally he wants that customer for life. Whenever your phase in life happens, we're expanding the family.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to college. We're downside. Elliot wants to be the person you call when you're ready to make that next step.
And I was thinking about that this whole entire weekend. It's like, what is the difference between Elliot and everybody else? Folks, it's very simple. Okay? And a lot of people will say, you're full of it. It's your career. You make money. Mm-hmm. Of course I make money. This is what I do. Okay? It's just, you cannot just tell a fireman or a policeman.
You're a
because this is
businessman.
what
You're
you
not
do.
a saint.
I mean, it's crazy. But the fact is, the matter in the end of the day is that I care about every single one of my customers, and I don't care how big or small the loan is. It's about taking care of and delivering.
It's the same level of service.
And that is the difference. Because I almost wanted to say it like this, and some of my competitors may disagree.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of them care like I care about my customers. And I go the extra mile like my people, and I go for my customers.
Well, and I'm going to say you experience similar to what we experience here in radio. And what I'm about to share is, so like you hear commercials on the radio. That's how we pay our bills. And
Correct.
This is how we. But I'm telling you, and this is something our sales folks deal with. To do it right and how you do it, you end up working harder and spending more time and energy on a $200 buy versus a $10,000 buy.
That's very true. It happens.
And it's all about perspective, because generally that $200 buy is a mom and pop business. That $200 means so much more to them than that $10,000 means to a much larger corporation.
Correct.
And so they're going to be much more needy in terms of what they want. And you almost have to train them a little bit, because they may know a bunch about the widget they sell, but do they know how to market it? And so you have to invest that much. And it's the same boat for you, whereas that first person that only has $80,000 to buy a house is going to have way more questions and probably be way more needy than someone that literally is dropping $3 million and they've done this 6 times.
Very, very true.
You know what I mean? And
because I remember talking to my wife 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay. What am I going to do? Okay. Am I going to be a priest? Am I going to be, and what I mean a priest, like a pastor or something like that? Or what is my calling? And to be honest, folks, I didn't even have no idea. Okay. I was just trying to figure out. I was a kid when that young of a kid. If you know my age, do you know what I'm talking about? My point is, we were trying to figure out, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? I was going to college to become a psychologist, I was going to college to do something else. I joined the army and to do something else, and I ended up doing a bunch of different things.
Sure.
So I've been blessed that all the experiences that God have given me, I can use it to help a lot of people.
I'm in the same boat, kind of guy. Did the, when I was younger, man, I literally did the butcher, baker, candlestick maker, and everything else before I finally got, here in radio, but military. And to be honest, what makes me good at radio is the fact I spent time in the military doing things, and I spent time here doing things, and this doing things, and working here doing things, and everyone's like, man, you're full of stories. It's like, yeah, because I literally done 100
Yeah,
things.
we've been all over the place. We went around the block a bunch of times already.
Yeah.
And folks, I'm not saying, yes, I am saying it. Yeah, come to Loan Depot. Come to my team. Okay,
that's what he does.
It's what we do. I'm just not saying that nobody else out there cares. I'm just saying my team, I believe we care more than everybody else.
Well, and this is something I also would throw it out there too. Is now that you're kind of expanding the office over the last year here.
Oh yes.
You're and yes, you have one or two of your folks are on par or near your experience level here, but you have an office staff of up and coming Elliots where he's literally taking some of these young kids.
And let me tell you something. It's so awesome to see all the different skills and how they like working on them.
Sure.
And like this person does this person does that.
Sure.
And it's so amazing to see, and I don't tell them this enough, but I do tell them once in a while how good they are. Okay. You don't want to get their heads too big though.
Right. But at the same time you're teaching them business from the human side, and they understand.
Because what? In the end of the day, if you look at people like people, you would take care of them, folks. And everybody out there is going to agree with me. And some people will say, "Oh, you're being too naive." Like the human factor is needed. I don't care what business it is. Okay.
Well, it's the biggest decision people are making in their lives.
Very
is what
true.
You're dealing with.
And I'm just blessed that I'm part of something like this because I'm helping people. This is what they're going to live for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
If not for the next 3 to 5,
and it's setting the table for success. This is that, especially the first time. Once they're in the game, and then they're doing it and living it, and that's where the independence comes. You don't get that freedom that once you own your own house and it's yours, and you're like, I don't have to get permission if I want to paint the walls green inside. I just paint them, right? That's my thing. I mean, other than your spouse.
Oh, you cannot put too many things on the walls. Like, no,
it's your house.
It's yours.
It's your home.
After you sign those papers and you want to paint it pink, or purple, whatever you want.
Maybe on the outside, not so much depending on where you live, but inside, it's all you.
Right? No, but you know what? It's what I've been saying.
Yeah.
And I've been blessed that the trip and the journey that God has put me on, have put me to where I am today, because I went through a lot of different places and worked for different companies and worked for large companies too.
Sure.
And all that stuff put together is what we do today.
And sometimes you got to see the bad to understand the good.
That's so true.
Like you learn the hard way, the easy way, all the above through your various different businesses and things over life. And so at this point, you're like, okay, now I've got the right mix here. And this is, since you've been with Loan Depot, that's kind of been that where you get the support and all the big gun stuff. But at the end of the day, you have the freedom and the ability to get one-on-one with customers, to sit down and literally go down line by line and say, this is what needs to be fixed.
And it's crazy because, I said, I'm blessed. I did my homework. I looked into the companies that were reaching out to me when I was ready to do the next step.
Sure.
And I didn't want to be a branch manager again. I really didn't. It's not an easy thing to do. But you know what? Sometimes you can run away from what God got for you.
Sure.
And you have to embrace it.
Well, and do your homework on Loan Depot, because literally this company has started with a bunch of people that were tired of the game.
19 people, dude.
And we said, we don't have to do it this way. And that's literally what Loan Depot.
I was just listening to a call.
Yeah.
They started with 19 people.
Yeah, that was those 19 that we're going to.
He literally said like this. When we did our first loan, we didn't even know what else to do after that. I was like, that was so funny. Yeah. I was like, that's amazing. And where we are.
Now they've grown to one of the largest lenders in the world here. So it's really great. I just saw the timer running short here, but please, if you're saying now's the time to buy, whether it's your first home or your 50th home or somewhere in between, or investment properties too. If you're thinking, you know what, I got my own home now, I think I want to get in the game. Maybe I'll buy a rental and do some of that stuff. And if you want to do that, Elliot can talk to you about that stuff too.
Yes, sir.
He's got some personal experience on that one.
Just
he can help you with. So, so if you're doing this for investment purposes or for, at the end of the day, I just want to get my home, and I've been renting in this apartment for several years, and it's time for me to stop paying someone else's mortgage and start paying my own and do that. Get a hold of Elliot. Now, you can go online. If you go to www.loandepot.com/Elliot Rodriguez, all one word, spell Elliot with one L and a Z at the end of Rodriguez. That's his personal website. You can see not only Elliot's history, but Loan Depot's history, and do your research and all that. If you're ready to contact Elliot and let's make a deal or start talking, give him a call directly by the phone. His cell number is 719-237-4680. Again, 719-237-4680. Or you can call the main office here. It's a 505 number, but it's here in Roswell. 505-445-2070, 505-445-2070. Or you can email him, and it's very similar to the website. It's just Elliot Rodriguez, again, all one word, one L, at loandepot.com. Send him an email, and that'll get there. And then, or come on by, 204 West 2nd, Suite 5. It's right over here.
And we will take care of you.
Yeah.
It's hard to miss us.
Absolutely.
It's across from the police station's parking lot, and you'll see a big sign that says Loan Depot. You cannot miss it.
Yeah.
And folks, if you're looking for a place, and you've been thinking about buying a home, don't be afraid of it. Don't worry about what's happening. We'll take care of you the same. And don't let the stuff, stop you.
You need a home that's there, and that's the thing is, okay, maybe we don't get the top home right now. We get but you're in the thing, and then we hang out here for 2-3 years. Next thing you know, you build a little equity, and then all of a sudden the house you like shows up on the market. Now now you're set up to move in on that one, and that's so even. Put it this way: nobody buys their dream home the first house,
and that's true.
Unless you hit the lottery or something.
And if it happens to be, so be it.
Most of us grow into our dream home.
Well, come on, look for Loan Depot, your lender of choice.
Absolutely,
where home means everything.
Absolutely. Again, Elliot, loandepot.com/Elliot Rodriguez. Come on by 204 West 2nd, Suite 5. Give him a call, 719-237-4680, or email Elliot Rodriguez at loandepot.com. All of that above. And if you happen to just catch him out and about, hit him up. He'll talk to you then.
Trust me, it happens all the time.
Absolutely. I'm sure it does. As a guy who knows, I know too. So, Ellie, as always, appreciate the
Now for your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The New Mexico Department of Transportation is now in the design phase for the Rio Felix Bridge on 285 south of Roswell. The design will include the construction of new support piers for additional lane capacity and structural support. The bridge sustained significant structure damage on the south side during the floods last year. Initial emergency repairs to reinforce the damage were finished earlier this year, so that's allowed the bridge to reopen one lane of traffic each direction. During the repairs, the need for more work to restore and strengthen the bridge was identified, extending the project completion deadline. The case of a missing Eddy County man comes to a tragic end. Police confirm 32-year-old Jacob Arredondo Cabazuela has been found dead near Harkness Road and Thomason on June 20th. Cabazuela had been reported missing from Carlsbad earlier this month. Police have not given any other details about the death, but they ask anyone who might have information to please call 575-887-7551. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
Ever been on a Zoom call and someone casually says, "Oh, my AI assistant is taking notes." Wait, what? There's a robot in the room? I'm Kim Commando for Native Path Collagen. Get 45% off plus free shipping and a free gift at getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim. AI meeting assistants like Otter, Fireflies, and Notion are all the rage. They transcribe every word, highlight key points, assign tasks, even integrate with Slack. Basically, they do everything short of bringing you coffee. Helpful? Absolutely. But just because you can bring AI into a meeting doesn't mean that you should do it in stealth mode. Rule number 1, be upfront about your AI note taker. Next, share the recap. People love clear notes, especially those who tuned out halfway through. And finally, respect boundaries. If someone's not cool with it, just hit pause. Forcing AI and people is a surefire way to clear out your next meeting. Tech etiquette matters. And sign up for my free newsletter right now at getkim.com. Tech is amazing, but it does take a toll on our lives. We're all guilty of spending hours just hunched over our screens, and those times of endless doom scrolling. It's not just draining your mind, it's aging your body too. That's why I take Native Path Collagen every single day. It helps replenish what your body loses over time by repairing joint and skin damage and restoring that youthful glow from the inside out. Outsmart the digital fatigue and take the supplement your tech-filled life needs. Native Path Collagen. Because screen time shouldn't show on your face. You'll feel the difference naturally with my 45% off deal. That's 45% off with free shipping and a free gift bundle. Here's what you need to do. Go to getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim. Get 45% off right now at getnativepath.com/Kim.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Individual results may vary.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Still some showers and thunderstorms hanging around today. We have that humid air coming in from the south. Mix of sun and clouds will be in the upper 80s on the afternoon high. Some lingering showers overnight will stay cloudy or low in the upper 60s. Mix of sunshine and clouds on Friday and a few more afternoon thunderstorms going up to about 90. Drying out for the weekend, sunny, highs in the 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said Wednesday that President Donald Trump's sweeping tariffs will likely push up inflation in the coming months. On the second day of his twice-yearly testimony before the House and Senate, Powell said that consumers will likely have to shoulder some of the cost of the import taxes. Europeans still aren't buying Teslas, with figures out Wednesday showing sales plunged for the fifth month in a row in May. Tesla sales fell 28% last month in 30 European countries, even as the overall market for electric vehicles expanded sharply, according to the European Automobile Manufacturers Association. Kroger plans to close 60 U.S. grocery stores over the next 18 months to improve efficiency. The company announced the plan during a corporate earnings call last Friday. The U.S. Treasury Department slapped sanctions Wednesday on 3 Mexico-based financial institutions it said were used to launder millions of dollars for cartels. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Our world is in desperate need of kindness. In the Apostle Paul's letter to Titus and the church in Crete, he encourages them to be peaceable and considerate, and always to be gentle toward everyone. So why do we need to be kind? Then Paul writes this, "But when the kindness and love of God our Savior appeared, he saved us, not because of righteous things we had done, but because of his mercy." I think what Paul is saying is that we're called to be kind and considerate of others because of the kindness that God has shown us by forgiving our sins. We are kind in response to the kindness that we've been shown. God doesn't call us to agree on everything. He just calls us to be kind. I love this quote. If you have to choose between being kind and being right, choose being kind and you'll always be right. There's so much meanness and division in our world. Choose today to be kind to those who you encounter. You will be amazed at the positive difference a little kindness can make.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
The summer of fun rolls on at Roswell Honda with a great selection of adventure-ready rides priced right so you'll be ready for whatever summer throws your way. Get 2.99% for up to 36 months on Honda Pilot, HR-V, and CR-V hybrids, 1.99% for 36 months on all Ridgeline, or 4.99% for 48 months on all new Civic, and truckloads of all new inventory too. Start your summertime adventure during the summer of fun at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Injury, surgery, or illness can set you back, but you don't have to recover alone. At Artesia General Hospital, our rehabilitation services team provides physical, occupational, and speech therapy to help you regain strength, mobility, and confidence. Take the next step toward recovery. Call 575-736-8174 today to schedule an appointment and get back to living life to the fullest.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
Not completely wiped out. Could be reconstituted in a matter of weeks.
The skill and the courage it took to go into enemy territory flying 36 hours on behalf of the American people and the world to take out a nuclear program is beyond what anyone in this audience can fathom. And then the instinct of CNN, the instinct of the New York Times is to try to find a way to spin it for their own political reasons to try to hurt President Trump or our country.
As Iran's supreme leader declares victory over the U.S. and Israel, the Israel-Iran ceasefire continues to hold, and there's word that U.S. and Iranian negotiators will soon be meeting.
Before leaving the NATO summit, the president said there are plans to restart dialogue between the U.S. and Iran following last weekend's military bombing of nuclear sites.
We're going to talk to them next week with Iran. We may sign an agreement. I don't know. To me, I don't think it's that necessary.
He said he doesn't care if there's an agreement or not because the U.S. destroyed Iran's nuclear program. Greg Clugston, Washington.
The Gaza war continues taking a deadly toll. Correspondent Joe Fetterman in Jerusalem.
Just as Israel is claiming victory in its war against Iran, the country has received a tough new reminder that the war in Gaza continues to grind on. Israelis woke to the news that 7 soldiers were killed in an explosion in the southern Gaza Strip. This was the deadliest single incident for the army in months.
Health Secretary Kennedy's new vaccine advisory committee is meeting and backing another option for protecting infants against a dangerous virus. Also now considering questions about the fall flu vaccines. Wall Street, the Dow is up 197 points, NASDAQ ahead 89. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Ecuador's president says the country's most wanted fugitive has been recaptured.
The notorious leader of the Los Troneras gang, Jose Macias Fiamar, also known as Fito, was found hiding in a sophisticated bunker in his hometown of Manta after nearly 18 months on the run following his escape from prison. A joint police and military task force executed the operation, with President Daniel Noboa crediting enhanced intelligence laws. Preparations are underway for Fito's immediate extradition to the U.S., where he faces drug trafficking and weapons charges.
That's a BBC's David Bamford. 2 people killed, 17 injured as a result of torrential storms in France. The storms toppled trees, flooded Paris streets, and caused Parliament's roof to spring a leak just as the Prime Minister was speaking. News and analysis at townhall.com. Group of Dallas area families filing suit looking to block a new Texas law that requires the 10 Commandments in public school classroom.
That law mandates the commandments be displayed in every classroom starting September 1st. The suit argues the measure violates the separation of church and state. Similar laws in neighboring Louisiana and Arkansas have also faced legal challenges. Opponents say the Texas law infringes on religious freedom. Supporters say it reflects the nation's foundational values. Jason Walker reporting.
Cooper Flagg headed to the Dallas Mavericks, who may have found the next franchise superstar less than 5 months after trading one away. The Mavericks took the Duke forward with the #1 pick in last night's NBA draft, selecting the 18-year-old who was College Player of the Year in his lone season. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes.
You made it to almost the end of the week.
Mm-hmm. Look at that. Blue sky is your reward.
The sun is, well, it was more out earlier.
It's kind of hazy.
It's not as triumphant right this hour.
Yeah.
But it's not raining.
We don't have sunrise sky this morning.
No. We did earlier. Like an hour ago, there was sunrise sky.
A little bit of sunrise sky.
Now it's kind of overcast, but it's still bright out.
It's blue over here in this window.
There's a blue spot.
It really depends on which one. It's all about perspective, really.
It's going to stay right here in my one blue spot.
That's right.
But yes, maybe, just maybe, we'll see a little less rain here over the next couple of days. We've passed the hump of the high water mark here, and now we're getting into more gentler. Now, that being said, we'll probably get hit with a dickens of a storm later today.
Sure. But luckily, I think now we have a few sandbags, drawn up. And by the way, big thanks to all the volunteers who have been showing up to the sandbag sites and
helping out and everything else. And hopefully we're done for that for a little bit.
I'd like to think that what we need to do is in the dry times, we need to gather together maybe once a month and do like 100, 150 sandbags, just so we have them on hand, just in case.
Yeah. I don't know what a shelf life of a sandbag
They don't
is.
go bad.
Well, I don't know if they fall apart after, like, yeah, like the burlap and the sand, and I don't know, like the ones at the bottom might get a little sad.
Okay, so all the more reason we need to keep our rotation going.
As a guy spent a minute filling a sandbag or two.
Go through, see which ones have gone bad, and refill as needed.
Who would have ever thought leaving sandbags in the desert?
Oh, they're handy. I should turn your mic on.
Yeah,
those
help.
But yeah, I'm sure you did too. I know I filled a sandbag or two in my time in the military. I painted rocks in the military. I cleaned poo out of a microwave, and I don't know how I got there.
I don't know.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Well, in all fairness, the point that got me was it was in the microwave. The tray was not there, but they managed to procure to put it perfectly in the middle, like it was squoze there.
Right.
How did one do that?
That is rather impressive. You said that the tray wasn't there, which means
correct. Like they couldn't have.
The grate was.
Yes.
This in your military days?
Yes. No, it was last week at the house.
Yeah.
It's the cats. It's the cats.
Apparently, some crazy stuff went down up in Durango, but no. And I'll tell you what happened. Mike's told this story before.
Yeah.
And it's given me time to think it through. What happened was,
has Zapruder filmed this one up?
Someone created art and then said, "This is art, but I want to create a masterpiece," which means they then handled it. I'm guessing they probably took like a piece of cardboard and slid it underneath it so as to procure the poo, and then guided it into the microwave and then did that slip out technique like you're pulling
the tablecloth
like you're pulling
out
a tablecloth, and got it to perfectly, and then they were like, "This is it. I have achieved masterpiece."
And I'm spent. We're out.
Now I need a nap, possibly a cigarette.
Well, that happened, probably 30 years ago. So kudos to that person. We're talking about it 30 years later.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, I'll never forget that. I mean, it was grossed out. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, how did they do it?
Yeah, you're like, I mean, I'm mad, but I'm also kind of impressed. This took time and effort. And
like, I feel like that's what when they creeped up on Stonehenge the first time. It was like, how did they do that?
Somebody pulled a pencil from out behind their ear and said, all right, check this out. And like mapped it out. Plans were drawn.
I'm hoping it was like an A-team effort and they had a music montage.
Van comes in.
Right. There was skid marks.
Don't you worry about it. I procured the poo.
But anyway, so yeah, I've seen things.
I've seen things in combat that kids today would never understand.
So the point is, I don't think your sandbag prep thing won't work.
Oh my gosh.
It's true, man. You do really bring back the best stories from combat. from tours of duty.
Gives a whole new meaning.
It certainly does.
Yeah. Well, it broke up the day of painting rocks.
My question though is, was it warmed? Like was the microwave utilized? Because I would think there'd be some melt factor at that point.
I don't think
it's not
so.
Chocolate ice cream.
It was literally.
Then again, this is I'm guessing a good solid army diet, fortified with vitamins, minerals, and just so much fiber. So
let's see. Probably pea soup and omelets. From the Chow Hall.
Oh. But see, those are Chow Hall omelets. We're not talking about like vomlets from like the, from the MRE days.
Full pull back of the curtain. Air Force Chow Halls aren't bad eating.
I'd imagine.
I've not had too many bad Chow Hall meals.
I mean, it's not a Buc-ee's, but
like if it's a bad meal day, you can always get a burger. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you're like, all right, that pot roast looks like it was George Washington's pot roast. I'll take a burger. Give me a patty melt, please. Yeah, that's Air Force, man. See, Marines, they you get.
I always just thought it was you get
You want an egg? Here it is, still in the shell. Go for it.
Whether you get heel or middle shingle, that's really the choice you get in military meals.
Nah, we had like a soda machine with choices of sodas, a whole day, man. You get more than one.
Spoiled.
And the great part was I flashed a green card and took as much as I wanted. It was great.
Glory days.
That's how I got my money back. They didn't pay me nothing in the Air Force.
Right.
I ate them out of house and home at the Chow.
That was part of your pay.
That's right. I got my BAS right through my. Absolutely. So, anyway, back to the never mind.
It's just. Well, that triggered something in my head because you said you ate them out of house and home. That's how you got your payback. I have a couple of friends who over the last, we'll say like year, have found sobriety. And I'm very proud of them. I think it's an awesome thing.
Yeah.
But the thing is, when you find sobriety, you also find the snack pantry.
Oh, there's, yeah.
You replace what you were taking, what you were using with sugar.
Oh, yeah.
My brother
That's a thing.
is one of these people, and he sent me a picture, and I'll show you guys off the air. It spurned a whole host of comments. I'm like, you look like somebody who knows a guy.
Oh.
You look like somebody who's got a guy for that. Or you look like somebody who could unclog a pipe or my money back. He's grown just a mustache because he works at McDonald's, and he's gained probably 40 pounds. He looks like a Chicago plumber.
We probably should maybe not take every one of his lunch breaks at McDonald's. I
Well,
might start there.
When you get them for free,
I get it.
Per diem is a powerful thing.
Yeah. Well, they do have salads.
No, they don't.
They don't.
McDonald's have salads anymore?
No.
Not for years, man.
Like I've ever ordered one, but I thought allegedly they had some.
They used to have the salad shaker, but they got rid of that.
Yeah,
Which
you can't get like just a salad.
No, they don't have anything.
Didn't they have Paul Newman's dressing in the salad?
Okay,
salad?
he's not as big as he was.
Matter of fact, I used to like the Southwest chicken.
Yeah, I remember
salad.
that. But
that was my favorite.
I know, like during COVID, they didn't have lettuce, but they didn't brought salads back since.
When COVID happened, they no longer served it. They haven't brought it back.
I did not know
I was
that.
so sad when that went away.
So he didn't gain as much weight as I'm claiming.
Oh my goodness!
But that's my brother now with his handlebar mustache. And so here were
he does have a Mario.
Here was my series of comments.
Look to him, yeah.
I said, Ben looks like an Illinois American League baseball manager for a team called the Wood Rats.
Yeah.
He looks like a plumber that guarantees they can clear your drain or they'll be back. He looks like he created a pill that changed the game and guarantees a good night's sleep. He looks like he could give me the inside info on a Bears game for gambling purposes.
You know what? He does look like the SNL Bears.
He looks like he's got a guy for things. He looks like he's just days away from his pension kicking in.
Well, we just lost George Wendt.
That's right.
There's he can pony up to the bar stool there and sit there. Take
He's
his
back,
place.
America.
Cheers there. As soon as you said the Bears thing, I was like, that's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he looks like with that hat and that stash.
Yeah.
Yeah, he needs to sit there, right next to Goodman and George Wendt.
Although, in fairness, a bar probably not the best place for my brother right now.
True that.
You need a near beer?
I hear they're good.
They're not.
All right, I guess we should get the hour going.
Probably should.
They don't have salads at McDonald's.
Going back
I'm
to
shocked
that.
by that.
Nope, not for long.
They need to bring it back. If there's anybody that has any pool.
Well, put it this way. If it was salads or the bagel sandwiches, thank God they chose bagels.
Do you know why they don't have them? Because you just realized they don't have them. That's why McDonald's doesn't have them. Who needs it? Who's asked for them?
That's not my fault. All you salad eaters. Y'all got tempted by the Big Macs. Sorry. All right, let me give you the rundown for this hour of the show. We'll get you update with the weather here in just a little bit. Don Weld's going to join us, wearing officially his Friends of the Spring River Zoo hat, but I imagine we'll cover all bases. We'll talk a little Alzheimer's. We'll talk a little Bitter Lake. We'll cover all the gamut since we haven't really got to chit-chat this month. So we'll do all the above here in just a bit. Later on in the hour, we'll get you up to date with news of the local variety, along with your Wall Street business update and whatever else we can come up with for this hour of the show. But first, let's take a look at your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Still some showers and thunderstorms hanging around today. We have that humid air coming in from the south. Mix of sun and clouds will be in the upper 80s on the afternoon high. Some lingering showers overnight will stay cloudy or low in the upper 60s. Mix of sunshine and clouds on Friday and a few more afternoon thunderstorms going up to about 90. Drying out for the weekend, sunny, highs in the 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 68 degrees. It says foggy and misty. I don't think it's either one of those, but that's what it says. Humidity's at 93% with winds out of the northwest at 8 miles per hour. We are looking at a 30% chance for some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. They're talking mainly after 3 p.m. today. Partly cloudy and a high of 88 expected. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. 20% chance at showers and thunderstorms tonight before 9 p.m. So it looks like if you go by the weather, between 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. is our rain window. Mostly cloudy with an overnight low of 67. Southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. For your Friday, 30% chance at afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Mostly sunny, hitting the 90s tomorrow. 92 are expected high with south winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. 20% chance of rain tomorrow night. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 68 degrees with south winds 5 to 10. Then for the weekend, sunny and 94 for your Saturday. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy Saturday night, overnight low of 67. No talk of rain at all on Saturday. Sunday, sunny skies and high of 96. So warm on Sunday. And then 20% chance of rain Sunday night, a 40% on Monday and Monday night, and then a 30% for Tuesday and Tuesday night of next week. All right, 8:19. We're going to take a 3-minute break, and then Don will join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winter.
Lights, camera, action. Get superhero savings during our summer blockbuster sales event going on right now at Roswell Ford. Hey Roswell, you don't need to be a hero to pay zero. Drive home a new Ford with 0 down and 0 payments this summer. Plus, at Roswell Ford, everyone gets employee pricing. You heard right. At Roswell Ford, you pay what we pay on our huge inventory of new Fords. Stuck in your loan or lease and want out early? Roswell Ford can get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth, regardless of make, miles, or condition. Don't let the credit villains keep you from driving your dream car. At Roswell Ford, getting approved is a possible mission, so you can pay what we pay pay. Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to find the best car and get massive American-made savings and the best car buying experience. Get on board at Roswell Ford, because we'll do whatever it takes to make a deal. 821 North Main Street in beautiful Roswell. Call 575-623-3673 or online at roswellford.com. Interest accrues from date of sale on select vehicles. Trade balances refinanced to new loan. Subject to lender approval. Offers not combined.
You received a social media message or text from an unknown number. They started a conversation with you, and over time, they earn your trust. Then, they encourage you to invest online or buy cryptocurrency. And when you do, they disappear, along with your money. But it can be avoided. The Securities Division of New Mexico's Regulation and Licensing Department can help. Learn to spot the red flags of investment scams at rld.nm.gov/red flags or call 505-476-4580.
In a medical emergency, every second counts. Artesia General Hospital's emergency department is open 24/7, staffed with highly trained professionals ready to provide life-saving care when you need it most. Don't wait. When minutes matter, trust Artesia General Hospital. Quality emergency care close to home. Learn more at artesiageneral.com.
Our world is in desperate need of kindness. In the Apostle Paul's letter to Titus and the church in Crete, he encourages them to be peaceable and considerate, and always to be gentle toward everyone. So why do we need to be kind? Then Paul writes this, "But when the kindness and love of God our Savior appeared, he saved us, not because of righteous things we had done, but because of his mercy." I think what Paul is saying is that we're called to be kind and considerate of others because of the kindness that God has shown us by forgiving our sins. We are kind in response to the kindness that we've been shown. God doesn't call us to agree on everything. He just calls us to be kind. I love this quote. If you have to choose between being kind and being right, choose being kind and you'll always be right. There's so much meanness and division in our world. Choose today to be kind to those who you encounter. You will be amazed at the positive difference a little kindness can make.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Bamboo plants can grow up to 36 inches in a day. So if you're told you're growing like a weed, you can say, "No, I'm growing like a bamboo." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 22 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, wearer of many hats.
How you doing?
Don Weld back with us here. We'll talk a little zoo stuff. We'll talk a little Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge and a little Alzheimer's Association.
Yeah, we'll get it all today. It's been a rough couple of weeks here. So
yeah, unfortunately, Don was supposed to go gallivant, and the gallivant didn't go as according to plan.
No, it didn't. But oh well, life goes on.
Yeah.
It's like everything else. Alzheimer's. You still got to have your life and live through it.
Things happen. Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly. Of course, since Alzheimer's here, of course, I know we're a couple months away from the annual Alzheimer's Walked-In Alzheimer's event, but now is the time to do the fundraising, to start organizing your team. So I know we don't do the walk to the fall here, but you can start signing up your teams. If you go to the website, we'll tell you here in a second, the alz.org website, you can start signing up. Or if you know of a team already and you want to support them, you can go and support them as well too, or start your own team, whatever you want to do there.
Yep. Yeah.
But now's the time.
The website, you can do the searches for individual teams.
Gotcha.
Or you can search for starting your own team.
Okay.
And it's all about the Roswell Walk. ALZ.org just as your beginning point.
Yes.
And then you go to Roswell Walk.
There's like a search, and you can type in Roswell.
And Roswell Walk, and then you can search for whatever team in the Roswell Walk.
Good deal. So if you know your team's name that you want to support, get that, and then you can type it in and search.
Right.
But if you don't, you just want to start a team, or if you want to support, you can do that.
Yeah,
so I imagine, too, you can, if you're like, well, I can't participate, I'll just pick a random team and give them some money. That's okay, too.
Yeah. If you just want to donate, go to Photo Finish.
There you go.
Yeah, Photo Finish is my team.
That's your team. Okay, so help out Don's team.
Yeah.
But it's all in fun. That's what it's all about.
Well,
we want to raise as much money to.
We do. It all goes to a good cause.
Yeah.
And we're looking better and better all the time on that.
That's the medicines, the technologies, the progress being made is like I feel
tenfold.
I feel like that there's a possibility that before my lifetime's over, we could see that first person in remission from,
that's right.
Or there's a vaccine that just eliminates it, makes it like polio. It's like, last time you know someone with polio.
That's
we can make Alzheimer's that way.
Be careful of that, because I understand there's still polio around.
I think in places where other parts of the country and people haven't been vaccinated.
Or the world, yep.
But it was a one-time an epidemic, and now it's pretty much extinct. So,
that's right. We've done that with a few diseases.
Yeah, smallpox, there's been a few of them out there.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's work on getting the Alzheimer's, and we're still working on cancers. That's going to be another one that's going to be tough.
Yeah, and that's where and I don't know the science that well. I know with like Alzheimer's and things, Alzheimer's is the disease, but there's a lot of similarity disease, with the dementia, or
different
they all
varieties.
kind of fall in that same umbrella, even though they're not technically the same thing per se.
Correct.
Whereas cancer, it's the actual thing itself is the same. Where it's located and how it attacks is where it gets very different.
Yeah.
So how you treat one form of cancer is different than another form.
That's very true.
At the end of the day, the cancer, it's in and of itself, is still the same invasive tumor-like thing.
That's right. Whether or not in cancers, whether or not it's external, on your skins and such, or internal, some organ, that catches it. So
that's where we're like I would hope we see a cure for both by the end of the lifetime. But I will say this now that I know when I was a child and someone was diagnosed with dementia or Alzheimer's,
there's a death warrant.
You maybe got a year max out of quality of life. And now people getting diagnosed and they're living 10, 20 years before they're dealing with some of the real negative impacts of the dementia and Alzheimer's and these things.
My wife continued. Well, it wasn't a viable life, but she continued to fight it for about 9 years after we diagnosed it.
Okay. So she had a pretty lengthy battle here.
She did. She did.
What was G was curious, like how many years in was to the point where it was getting to where it was not her anymore?
About, I would say about 5 to 6 years.
Okay, so it was about halfway through. It was where you kind of see the real
and then you
decline.
can see her fade. She was on some medicines that for a while helped, and then those didn't help.
Sure.
So we just
I'm guessing a lot of it was probably fairly experimental too. Some of the stuff she was on and dealing with. So
the newer stuff is working a whole lot better and lasting longer.
And if you look at it in these, like if you look at military terms, like I feel like your wife and all the people that come before, they're the reason that the next generation may live through this.
That's right.
That's what I love, because at the end of the day, like I said, your wife was in essence a guinea pig.
Yeah.
On many of this stuff,
She was.
And millions of other patients are probably in that same boat, and they're going to be the reason that they went through the successes and failures that we're going to see the cure, and we're going to see that. Hopefully, maybe someone that comes out to this Walk for Hope the Walk for End Alzheimer's here in the fall, that's dealing with the dementia or Alzheimer's or something, we can see them get a cure in this lifetime. Because people like your wife and those humans.
That would be great. Yep.
That's and I would also send that message to every other family dealing with Alzheimer's or have lost family members to this.
Right.
I look at those terms. Your family is setting the table so the next generation doesn't have to do what you did.
That's right.
And that's what we're trying to
do. And that's what we need the donations for.
Yep. That's why you're walking. That's why we're having fun. That's why we're coming up with all these goofy names and having a lot of fun just coming out and showing support.
That's right.
Here in the fall when we do this here. And correct me if I'm wrong again, is it I know you've moved around locations. Is it back on the courthouse lawn this year, or is it going to be?
No, it's going to be out at Cielo Grande.
Cielo Grande this year.
Yeah.
Okay. I apologize. I couldn't remember.
We find that that's a much better venue area, even though
it's a good place to walk.
Yeah, it is.
I know for many years the Walk for Hope, the cancer, they do out there, and they kind of established the perfect walking path that
that's right.
Because they do theirs overnight.
That's pretty much what we use.
Yeah. And they used to do theirs overnight. They would start it, like on a Friday evening, and then they'll walk all night till Saturday morning. And that's how they would do it in years past. And so, and that's a lot of fun. But so that's kind of using that tradition there.
That's right.
All that. But we'll talk more about the actual event when we get there. But now it's the time to sign up your teams. Go to alz.org and then type in, like you said, the Roswell, New Mexico Roswell Walk, and you can sign up, learn more information if you have questions. Plus, there's a bevy of tools and stuff once you do sign your team up to spread the word to help
Very much
help
so.
you get money.
Yep.
To if you want to share it on your social medias or however you want to do it, that's got tools to help you navigate all that stuff.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Or they can call me.
And Don can walk you through it all too here.
Yeah,
and,
that's fine too.
And by the way, they're always looking for more members and volunteers to be a part of the local Alzheimer's Association here. When they're not doing walk to end Alzheimer's and things like that, their support for families. If there's a new diagnosis and you guys help to make sure that you help get the family acclimated and help them process through this change in their life and get resources to answer questions that they probably have 1,000 of, and that's what you guys do.
We have a committee meeting tonight. The committee that sets up all this walk will be meeting tonight, 5:30.
Okay.
At Peppers.
Okay, so you want to come and maybe have a meal?
Come by come by and say hi. Yeah. Well, you get your own meal, but we'll gather as a group and discuss where we're headed.
I go with either the steak au pois or maybe a fry bread's pretty good. If you haven't had that over there, I'll take
Yeah.
They got some good eats, and then you come and help the your part to
there you go
fight this battle here.
Yeah,
but that'll be at Peppers tonight.
Peppers, 5:30,
and you just walk in and say, "Hey, I just heard the Alzheimer's group's meeting."
Yep, I want to say hi.
I'd like to say hi.
Get a part of it and maybe participate. So
and
we would love it. So.
Excellent. Any updates from the zoo that we want to cover?
Nothing that I can think of. This new rain.
I don't know.
I haven't been there yet.
I imagine there's probably
there's probably
backtrack some
scrambling
work on there.
Yeah, they're scrambling to make sure that we can protect those animals. I unfortunately I haven't been out there as often as I would like to.
Well, you've been busy the last couple of weeks here with other stuff.
Yeah, I'm trying to recover from my disappointments.
Well, and like you said, you wear 6 hats, so you can't be everywhere at once.
It did. It gave me a chance to kind of kick back and do some things that need to be done so that I can continue to do for the community what I want to do.
Yeah. You got to take care of you before you take care of else. That's rule number 1 in Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's does that. That's exactly it. The caretaker or the caregiver has to be taken care of.
Yes.
Before you can take care of the victim.
Otherwise, you're hurting everybody.
That's right.
Yep. Including yourself.
And I'll tell you what, it almost gave me. Well, it did. It gave me a heart attack.
Well, I would
literally.
Imagine. Well, and I can never imagine. I got my wife sitting right next to me. But God forbid, something happens to one of us and we have to experience like some of that. That's going to be.
It's not easy. But there are resources. Unfortunately, I didn't know about the resources that were available at the time, but there are so many resources available now.
Good.
If you're a caregiver, we can find you some time off. Somebody to help take care of that person while you go to the spa, go get your pedicure.
I imagine you get too close to the sun sometimes. If you're there 24/7 and you're always doing it, and that's your life, mental health sets in, and you're overanalyzing everything. You're over worrying about things. And sometimes you need to take a step back to see the big picture a little times. Right. And these opportunities give you a chance to do that. And so you can kind of refocus, reset, and say, all right, I'm not overwhelmed now. This is not, and
that's what they're going to have to do at the zoo too. They're going to have to step back a little bit and say, okay, we're getting all these rains. We did last year. We did last fall. Really got all that torn up. We're going to have to figure out a better way of setting that zoo in place.
Sure. And right now we need volunteers, folks. The Friends of the Zoo. We need committees to start forming back so we can get plans of action in. The flood the first time really hurt the Friends of the Zoo because really the organization ran out of because there's nothing to do, and so there's nothing. So it kind of disbanded a little bit here. Now we're resurrecting it, getting it back together, so we can get a plan of attack to. Like I said, the city can only do so much. The rest of it's going to be we the people have to do that.
That's right. We do have a basic committee by name,
Gotcha.
our group. Unfortunately, right now we're just kind of in limbo. We're not quite sure what we need to do. So anybody who can help us come in, give us some ideas. Let's get this
need
together.
Some direction,
get some things going so we can work with the zoo and with the city.
Sit down, have meetings, and decide who's going to do what to win and where and how, and do all that stuff.
Get us back in there and get it going again.
But reach out to Don. There is still, I think, a Friends of the Zoo Facebook.
There's still a website.
And or website you can go to. And
Facebook, too.
And contact through there, and Don or one of the other committee members will get
back to you.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
that one we really, if you really want, we need invested people that really have an investment and care for that zoo. If you enjoy the zoo and want to see the zoo thrive and succeed, we're asking you to roll up your sleeves and get involved, because we need people to help make that happen.
If the zoo is active, it's viable, but it could sure use a lot of upgrades.
Right. It's surviving right now.
Yeah,
it needs
it's
to
in
flourish.
survival mode. Yeah,
exactly. That's
and we need to work on it.
There's
and
a
make
lot
it
of Band-Aids
better.
going on right
Yep.
now. So that's kind of where we're at. If you wanted to make it the true vision that we want it to be, almost like from my understanding is at one point they almost wanted to turn it into almost like a mini biological, very similar to what you see in Albuquerque. Not obviously that big a scale, but because it's an animal rescue. It's it's not just a place for you to look at pretty animals. It's a place to rescue animals, things like that.
That was a vision at one time. I would like to see that come back.
Yeah, and that's where we need to, if we want to take it there, then we gotta
work on it. Yep, it's not a big zoo, space-wide.
Yeah, not a lot of acreage,
but what we've got there can be managed. Well,
you can easily build a mini biopark right there.
Yes, we can.
That would be not a problem at all. If we commit ourselves to doing that. And I think that'd be a great thing to do out there.
It would be.
Not to mention the educational opportunities and resources for our own kids to have something like that here in their own backyard would be a great thing.
And we need to do more of that.
Absolutely.
That was one of the purposes of the Friends, was to bring in the local school kids, and show them what goes on in a zoo, a little bit behind the scenes, you might say.
Yeah.
And
like you ever watched on Animal Planet? They have like these shows and it's the big zoos, like the San Diego Zoo and the National Zoo, and they literally just follow the zookeepers around and show them days in the life of the zoo and how they, how they interact with the animals and take care of them and all that good stuff. And it's fascinating to watch.
Yeah, one of my favorites is the one down under.
Yeah. And so we could, in essence, build something like that here for our community.
It would be nice. That one is a huge. I have actually spent time inside that zoo at night.
Have you?
At night, because I took one of my trips.
Okay. You didn't get locked in and got stuck in the monkey pit or something.
There you go. Yeah. They actually have a hotel in the zoo.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And Taronga Zoo. So you spend the night, and then you have, from the time they open the zoo in the morning until they close it, you have free access.
Oh, cool. That'd be kind of fun.
So it was fantastic, So you could.
Do you have views of the zoo from your hotel room and everything?
Actually, what they do from the hotel room, you look into a little area where they have animals that are being special care.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of looking at the hospital there and seeing some of the animals.
Yeah, not so much hospital there. They've been through their hospital stuff.
Gotcha.
These are kind of rehab.
They got to be kind of separated from the population until they can get fully
get
integrated
their health back, and then they'll put them back in where
the herds or whatever
the other groups are.
Makes sense. That's cool.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting and quite an experience.
That's cool. Well, I don't know if we'll get to that level with hotels and everything, but let's start with at least getting to the more biopark setting.
Let's make this zoo something that we can be really, really proud of.
So reach out if you want to get involved. That'd be a cool thing.
Make it a destination instead of just an add-on.
Exactly. Not something to do for a couple hours the next thing. Now you come and you're going to spend the day there and be a part of it. Oh, and then you might spend an hour or two doing something else around.
That's right. There you go.
let's get any updates from Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge.
We just had our annual meeting last Saturday. Unfortunately, we lost one of our biggest fans or proponents, Bill Verney.
Oh.
So he was a colonel in the Army.
Okay.
But at 95, I guess he finally says, well, I've done my time
You
here.
had a good run.
Yeah, it's
Nice,
time
yeah.
for to go.
So lost him, huh?
We lost him. And,
so the meeting was a bit of a celebration of him a little bit, I'm guessing, too. Yeah.
Well, in the morning, we had his memorial service. And then in the afternoon, we had our meeting. But Bill was instrumental in many things at the Bitter Lake. He helped initiate the Friends group.
Okay.
He was
like a founding
He was
father
like a
of it.
founding father. He was
Okay.
the president of the Friends group for years. He was instrumental in getting the nature store. I'm trying to think of the senator's name.
Domenici?
No, this was. Oh gosh, it'll come to me.
Okay.
I'll call you in the morning.
All right, you'll tell it to me. 10 o'clock
yeah.
tonight will let me know.
Yeah. but apparently there was a relationship there with Bill and
cool.
this senator.
Okay.
And he got the senator involved and got the nature store.
Gotcha.
through.
You can turn the right people onto it.
That's right. So, but that nature store is probably it's the envy of many of the refuges around
I
here.
would imagine so there might be a naming or something of something in his honor out there at some point. I'm going to take a stab.
I'm sure that will be very
Maybe that
much
nature store might
considered.
don
Yeah.
his name at some point here.
That might be a good idea. Thank you. That might be a good idea.
Yeah.
I will mention that at our next meeting.
And so really you think about the Dragonfly Festival, you think about some of the traditions that we as folks from local here know about that place, and really thanks to him that's why we have
That's
all
right. And he was also instrumental in initiating the Dragonfly Festival. We used to have that festival here in town.
Okay.
It's
way better out at the refuge.
Oh yeah,
There actually are dragonflies.
Oh, yeah, they would rent a place. Where was that? Was that at the mall? I can't remember what we said but in the early 2000s, when they initiated the Dragonfly Festival,
Gotcha.
they would meet here and they would then bus people out to the refuge.
Interesting.
So
I guess it's like man in the streets, bring it to them or something.
there
I
you
don't know.
go.
That's an idea.
And that was the idea, was to try it, because that was Bill's whole. He looked at that refuge and says, "People have got to know about this.
See this thing, yeah.
You know, because it's beautiful. It's here."
Mm-hmm.
And so throughout 25 years that he's worked with this, it's just been incredible.
Sure.
The
And
work that he's put in on
Well,
it.
and you think about the role it serves in nature and everything else.
Yes.
It is, yeah. I mean, we talk about it. It is that, if you want to, we say this every time, but if you want to go camping and boating and everything else, going on out to bottomless lakes,
right?
That's what you do there. Bitter Lake is designed for the plants and animals. We are the visitors, and we sit and watch and observe and touch as little as possible. That's what we do.
We're caretakers.
Yes.
Of that. That
I mean,
area.
obviously, man does mitigate out there because we're here.
Right.
But that being said, the battle is to keep things that are native to this area inside, things not native out. And it's and in the big scope of nature, it is literally a migratory pit stop for many animals,
That's
birds, butterflies, lots of different species of animals that are heading north for the summer or south for the winter. You know, that Bitter Lake is that, like I joke, the pilot flying J. It's literally the truck stop for the migratory animals.
Yeah, it's a funny way to put it, but it's very true.
Yeah,
It's
and
very
that's what
true.
it is. And so,
And that's what I tell people.
And
all the
we're
time.
blessed to have it literally right in our own backyard out
Right.
here.
I mean,
And
you could almost walk out there.
I would imagine water level's pretty good out of Bitter Lake right now.
right now, yeah. Now that's not going to last, of course.
Unfortunately, yeah, it goes as quick as it comes sometimes. But at the moment, I'm betting things are probably pretty good out at the lake. Yeah. I bet the animals are happy, plenty of water, plenty to eat.
Yeah.
Plenty of vegetation, plenty of everything, right?
Yeah, I saw one an antelope the other day out there in the water splashing.
Oh yeah.
This feels good.
Oh yeah. They're probably like, isn't this supposed to be like 100 now? What's up? It's nice out.
Yeah, this is good. Yeah.
Sure, we went far enough south.
Unfortunately, besides losing Bill, we have lost our manager.
Oh,
Lindsay.
She was
Landowski.
Yeah, she was had plans to do something else.
She had all kinds of drives. Lindsay was one of the better managers that I've had fortunate to meet.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always had good.
It'll take some big
managers.
shoes to fill that one. There.
Yeah, but she's gone. The assistant manager a couple of years ago took another position in Texas.
Okay.
So she's gone. Our biologist is now the acting manager.
Okay.
So
it's like the third on the chain of command is in charge right now.
You know, what is it?
Are they going to replace at some point? I know with cutbacks and Doge and all this other stuff going on.
Eventually they will, but will that be this year? Okay. Will that be next year?
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
2 hats are a lot to wear. 3 hats is really a lot to wear.
It is,
I hope,
very much so.
I hope at the end of the day, this person's a biologist, not a general manager.
No. Although
I'm sure they'll have experience there.
Yeah, we have had biologists in the past.
Imagine they'd rather be in the dirt than in the desk.
But our previous biologist actually went to California as manager now.
Oh, okay.
So
they
moved
they wanted some time, and maybe their knees were hurting.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
But either way here, if you'd like to be a part of the stuff, being a member of the Friends of the Bitter Lake Wildlife Refuge is a great way. They get to, they do the service projects and things for a lot of the sweat equity for some of the service projects out there. Obviously, the store there is run by the Friends. The Dragonfly Festival and everything. It's basically a support group to raise funds, to raise awareness, and to raise volunteers to help make the refuge keep doing. So 10, 20, 30 years from now, your kids can go down there and your grandkids and their kids can come and see.
And still see all of the...
And it's going to look relatively the same.
Pretty much,
You know what I mean? There might be a new building or a watchtower or an observation post here and there, but the lake will look the same. The wildlife, the plant life, it all should be there.
Yeah. We protect the lake, the actual Bitter Lake itself. What you see is the ponds, where the different wildlife stop on their travels.
Gotcha.
They do stop at the lake also, but we protect that lake, and we don't have open access.
Very limited access to that.
Now, if you're a member,
I'm going to say, being a friend,
we will take certain tours into the back country, so to speak.
Yeah.
Where what's not open to the general public.
Yeah, you do get to see. There are perks for being a friend. You get to see parts of that property that most don't get to see. And I do like to remind people that as much as it's a study in nature, it is also a human study with the Native American hunting grounds out there.
Yep.
There's archaeologists and then of course with all the New Deal and that generation of rebuilding and everything.
That's right.
There's a lot of that history out there as well too. And so I would argue when you come out there, don't be surprised if you're going to get a little human history as much as you are history of the nature and the plant life and the animal life that call it home. And being a friend, you get access to some of that.
That's right. Well, and there'll be tours on that kind of thing as well.
Yeah.
We also have a Boy Scout camp out there.
Yes. That needs some work, Boy Scouts.
It does.
Yeah.
So I'm still trying to figure out
any Eagles candidates out there looking for projects. Any Scout troops looking for service?
I got a bunch of projects for Eagle Scouts.
Yeah.
If you're approaching an Eagle Scout level and you need a project, contact me.
You've got all kinds of
things for
that
you.
need to get done here.
Some for the Legion and some for Bitter Lake. And pretty sure we can figure out something for the zoo.
I'm about to say there's probably a lot of work at the zoo that needs at least. But of course, that one might be on the back burner till we kind of figure out directions and things there. But I know at Bitter Lake and at Legion, those we can jump right in right now.
That's right. Oh yeah. We got plenty of work for that.
Absolutely.
So,
friendsofbitterlake.org is the website. You can
Correct.
go there and learn more. If you'd like to make a donation, that's a great way to support as well too. If you can't physically do the things or be a part of it, but would love to support financially. And of course, when you do, go out and visit the gift shop and shop it. Whenever you buy books and shirts and games and things for the kids, all of that goes back to the conservation efforts of the Bitter Lake Refuge.
we don't pay people to man that bookstore.
It's all volunteers.
It's all volunteers. So there's no labor costs.
Yeah.
There's no rent because it's part of
the federal
government
reserve and the
all that profit. Of course, we have to buy the items.
Sure,
whatever
it costs to purchase it, books and T-shirts and what have you.
But all of the profit from that goes back into the funds that help out.
So when you get that new blind out there or new trail that's been revamped and fixed,
right?
It's because
that's where a lot of the money comes from for the festival, the Dragonfly Festival.
Gotcha.
And when we do our spring planting, we put in new plants. We buy the plants. That's where that money goes.
Good deal. So it all goes back into that
refuge, one way or another.
So please support it and please come out this weekend.
Yep.
I know next weekend everyone's going to be busy with UFO Festival and all that, but this weekend sure sounds like a nice weekend to come out to the lake and
Perfect
check it out.
weekend.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think we'll be tamped down with rain. Bring some sunscreen. It's going to be a little warm out there, but you'll be all right. So.
Yep.
Good deal. Friendsofbitterlake.org there. ALZ.org if you're interested in signing up a team or anything for Walk to End Alzheimer's. And then if you look for
Friends of the Zoo.
Friends of the Zoo or Spring River Zoo, there on Facebook, you should be able to find it.
Yeah, I'd have to look that up to be sure. I can't remember if it's Spring River or Friends of the Zoo.
If one don't work, try the other. And,
yeah.
And make sure you put a Roswell NM in there.
Do a
too.
search.
Yeah. That's what I do. I do a search. Zoo, Roswell, NM, something like that.
Yeah, Spring River Zoo, Friends of, and so on.
And it should pop right up.
Yeah.
So, good deal.
On Bitter Lake, if you go online, the newsletter is on the line.
Okay, so you want to come and get the update
you can go
there,
look up what the newsletter. On the newsletter, there is Friends applications.
Okay, if you'd like to be a friend there, too. And put it
unfortunately, we do not have an online paying system.
Well, if you'd like one, join us, and maybe you can help us set one up.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
You need one of these. Great, help us set one up. That would be great.
We would like to do that.
We're more into the dirt than the techie stuff.
Yep.
So. Don, as always, appreciate it, and hopefully your week gets better after your previous week here. So.
Yeah.
You're ready.
Well, I'm going to go to Albuquerque tonight. So
there you go.
Yeah.
R&R work.
No, this is Legion.
So
time for the Legion.
A little bit of both.
Yeah,
you get a little downtime,
but it's enjoyable because you get to see people all over the state that you don't ordinarily get to see with, but so your little camaraderie.
That's
there.
Right. Make them buy you a beverage.
There you go. We'll have a beer with all your friends.
Hey, you came up to visit. At least buy me a burger.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you, Mike.
It.
Yeah.
All right, it is 8:53. Let's pause for news and a quick break before we get you to the top of the hour here. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The New Mexico Department of Transportation is now in the design phase for the Rio Felix Bridge on 285 south of Roswell. The design will include the construction of new support piers for additional lane capacity and structural support. The bridge sustained significant structure damage on the south side during the floods last year. Initial emergency repairs to reinforce the damage were finished earlier this year, so that's allowed the bridge to reopen one lane of traffic each direction. During the repairs, the need for more work to restore and strengthen the bridge was identified, extending the project completion deadline. The case of a missing Eddy County man comes to a tragic end. Police confirm 32-year-old Jacob Arredondo Cabazuela has been found dead near Harkness Road and Thomason on June 20th. Cabazuela had been reported missing from Carlsbad earlier this month. Police have not given any other details about the death, but they ask anyone who might have information to please call 575-887-7551. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Still some showers and thunderstorms hanging around today. We have that humid air coming in from the south. Mix of sun and clouds will be in the upper 80s on the afternoon high. Some lingering showers overnight will stay cloudy or low in the upper 60s. Mix of sunshine and clouds on Friday and a few more afternoon thunderstorms going up to about 90. Drying out for the weekend, sunny, highs in the 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
All across America, this is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report, sponsored by Abacus Global Management.
Good morning. Stock averages barely changed yesterday after the S&P 500 and NASDAQ have now risen back to within 1% of their record highs. Investment advisors don't know now whether the stocks that have been up will keep rising or if high interest rates and slow hiring will bring stocks back down. Here's what Ross Mayfield of Baird Investments would tell the Federal Reserve.
We can speculate about what tariffs will do to inflation, what the level of tariffs will ultimately shake out as being, how much of the cost increase will be eaten by companies versus passed on to consumers. But that's all speculation. What we know for sure today is that the labor market is cooling.
It's thought that cutting interest rates would help the real estate market that sometimes seems to be picking up but stays slow. And lower interest rates would help increase hiring by making businesses more confident. There's growing talk about how difficult it is to find a job. I've heard of people trying to turn side hustles into a full-time business now because they can't find the job. A report says demand for electricians will grow at twice the rate of other jobs because so many electricians are retiring. With business, I'm Joe Connolly.
This is the Red Apple Audio Network's Market Report, sponsored by Abacus Global Management.
Did you know your life insurance is an asset you can sell? I'm Jay Jackson, CEO of Abacus Life. For almost 20 years, Abacus has been purchasing life insurance policies from seniors just like you. And at abacuspays.com, we've created a free policy value calculator so you can find out the worth of your policy in just seconds. There are no fees and no obligations. Get real value from your life insurance when you need it with Abacus. Learn more at abacuspays.com.
The summer of fun rolls on at Roswell Honda with a great selection of adventure-ready rides priced right so you'll be ready for whatever summer throws your way. Get 2.99% for up to 36 months on Honda Pilot, HR-V, and CR-V hybrids, 1.99% for 36 months on all Ridgeline, or 4.99% for 48 months on all new Civic, and truckloads of all new inventory too. Start your summertime adventure during the summer of fun at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Our world is in desperate need of kindness. In the Apostle Paul's letter to Titus and the church in Crete, he encourages them to be peaceable and considerate, and always to be gentle toward everyone. So why do we need to be kind? Then Paul writes this, "But when the kindness and love of God our Savior appeared, he saved us, not because of righteous things we had done, but because of his mercy." I think what Paul is saying is that we're called to be kind and considerate of others because of the kindness that God has shown us by forgiving our sins. We are kind in response to the kindness that we've been shown. God doesn't call us to agree on everything. He just calls us to be kind. I love this quote. If you have to choose between being kind and being right, choose being kind and you'll always be right. There's so much meanness and division in our world. Choose today to be kind to those who you encounter. You will be amazed at the positive difference a little kindness can make.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Check out some of the June savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market. Select bottles of Kraft salad dressing are 2 for $5, and select cans of Food Club veggies or tomatoes are 68 cents each. In produce, Washington red cherries are $2.99 a pound, and bags of Dole garden salad are 99 cents each. In the meat department, family packs of boneless, skinless chicken tenders are $2.97 a pound, and family packs of boneless sirloin cut pork chops are $1.97 a pound. These are just some of the June savings you'll find this week at your local Farmers Country Market.
Every year, thousands of nursing home and assisted living residents face neglect and mistreatment. But as an ombudsman, you can be a voice for those who often go unheard. And we're looking for volunteers. Ombudsmen advocate for residents' rights and ensure quality care. It's an incredibly fulfilling experience. I know because I am one. Whether you're retired or just starting your career, your dedication and compassion will make a significant impact. Learn about volunteering as an ombudsman today at aging.nm.gov/volunteer. Sponsored by this station and the NMBA.
Your home for Kim Commando in Roswell. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. Big talk coming out of Tehran. Iran's supreme leader speaking out earlier in the day. He claims Iran achieved victory over Israel and the United States. President Trump, meanwhile, says the U.S. and Iran will hold talks likely next week.
Before leaving the NATO summit, the president said there are plans to restart dialogue between the U.S. and Iran following last weekend's military bombing of nuclear sites.
We're going to talk to them next week with Iran. We may sign an agreement. I don't know. To me, I don't think it's that necessary.
He said he doesn't care if there's an agreement or not because the U.S. destroyed Iran's nuclear program. Greg Clugston, Washington.
European Union leaders meeting in Brussels to address key global issues, including tougher sanctions on Russia and the Middle East conflicts. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will join via video conference. Also at townhall.com, the bulk of the House Democratic caucus voting down an effort to launch impeachment proceedings against President Trump, joining a unified House GOP. Here's Bernie Bennett.
Led by Congressman Al Green of Texas, dozens of Democrats, including New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, voted on Tuesday in favor of beginning an impeachment inquiry into Mr. Trump's strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear facilities over the weekend, a move which numerous Democrats, as well as Republican Thomas Massie, said was unconstitutional. But most of their caucus was against that response to the U.S. involvement in Israel's war against Iran. On Tuesday, the impeachment inquiry vote was defeated, with 128 Democrats joining all present House Republicans and voting it down. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
Strong storms hitting parts of France. At least 2 people have been killed, 17 injured. Power is out to more than 100,000 homes. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals, too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
A ruling by a federal judge in New York keeping the Job Corps program alive.
Job Corps aims to help teenagers and young adults who struggle to finish traditional high school and to find jobs. The program provides tuition-free housing at residential centers, training, meals, and health care. The judge wrote that once Congress has passed legislation stating that a program like Job Corps must exist and sets aside funding for that program, that the Department of Labor is not free to do as it pleases. The lawsuit, brought by the National Job Corps Association, is supported by the Attorneys General of 20 states. I'm Lisa Dwyer.
Federal judge has sided with Facebook parent Meta Platforms that in dismissing a copyright infringement suit that from a group of authors who accused the company of stealing their works to train its artificial intelligence technology. Breaking news and analysis, townhall.com. Sometimes you just don't know what you're going to find in the water.
A sunken 18th century boat has been discovered by chance near the majestic stone walls of Croatia's medieval city of Dubrovnik. Ivan Bukelic dove into the Adriatic Sea in Dubrovnik's old port back in April, for work on a water pipeline, only to find a wooden structure buried in the seabed. A key trade port in the Adriatic Sea in medieval times, Dubrovnik has been declared a UNESCO protected heritage site. Keith Peters, Washington.
Trump administration suing Minnesota over its tuition policies for immigrant students living in the country illegally. That suit filed by the Justice Department. It challenges Minnesota's practice of offering in-state tuition rates and scholarships to the immigrant students. Minnesota officials say they are, quote, reviewing the case. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Travelician, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Trace and Biernos.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Thursday, everybody. It was kind of funny. We were having a big conversation, and Sean snuck in like a kid. You kind of had to look like you did something wrong.
No, I felt bad because Kim had to kick her feet, put her feet back down. I felt bad. I took away her ottoman.
No problem. You had a sheepish look.
Like, I'll only be here for a moment. I actually thought about doing the whole I'm only here so I don't get fined taking and just leaving. But
I thought it was almost like the kid who just let a secret fart out and about to unleash it on everybody.
No. There were no secret farts for me growing up. Loud and proud, and I let you know about them,
too. Had to look like, wait for everyone to say, oh my gosh!
Clear the room!
Well, happy Thursday, everybody.
Yes, welcome to
it. It is not raining.
No?
Celebrate that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's still a little bit of blue right there.
Blue right now. I would go with the term partly cloudy.
Yeah. Mix of
it's
clouds.
A term we haven't seen in a minute, so enjoy it. We do have like normal regular rain chances now. Like our normal month, like they're not 80% anymore. They're like 30% between 3 and 9 today. Those kind of, back what we're used to.
Yeah, but the waters have gathered in certain areas, and the standing water still remains. So get ready for mosquitoes, kids.
By the way, the Roswell water ski team will be practicing at Lake Home Depot at 2:30 today.
They'll be meeting at Port IHOP.
Yes, they're trying to do the pyramid.
It's a good long runway for them to do it too. I admire their chutzpah.
Yeah, they're gonna work on that. I remember as a kid. I don't think this is open anymore, but my parents took a trip to Florida to go to Disney World and all that. And we also went to a place called Cypress Gardens. Which I do not think exists anymore. I think they have shut it down.
I'm familiar with the name of it, yeah.
It was think of like SeaWorld before, but from the 50s and without all the shamus.
Didn't it become Busch Gardens?
Maybe some of them.
I
don't know,
I think so.
But the Cypress Gardens in Florida was all about the water ski team. And it was kind of like they had the, like the ice capades and how it was that, but they were water skiers.
Wow.
And they would do that pyramid thing. And they had gardens. Like you could walk, like when you watching water skiers, you could go through these gardens and stuff.
Beer gardens?
There was adult beverages, but I was like 7, so I didn't get to partake in that. But and I do remember, and it literally the women were dressed like the can girls at Vegas or whatever, but water skiing. And it was pretty
that was
iconic.
One that eluded me. I could never get up on water skis.
Me either.
I've tried numerous times. I'm not.
Skied.
I wasn't coordinated enough.
Did you?
I got up and then immediately back down.
I got dragged around on a tube once or twice.
There's a fun memory. We went to my family and I went to Lake Eufaula when I was a little kid.
That sounds dirty. Lake Eufaula.
And my dad went out on my Aunt Kathleen's boat, and they had a boogie board.
Okay.
So if you're not familiar, kids, there's like the wakeboard, which is about this long.
That's like surfing for people that don't want to stand up.
Right. Well, boogie board is basically like a wakeboard's half shirt.
Right.
It's just enough to hold on. So my dad's out there on this boogie board. He's kind of whipping all over the place, hitting wakes and stuff. Next thing you know, all you see is his shorts around his ankles.
Oh, no.
And then gone.
Yeah.
Because they just whipped off into parts
Oh,
unknown.
no.
And so now my dad's just floating there bottomless. And we're all trying to process, how are we going to get him out and save face?
Right.
But it's just, it happened so quick. It was shorts on ankles and flew off and they were gone.
Someone could have been shoreline with a beach towel. Maybe to wrap him.
The best part was he had to scream, "Stop the boat!" Because you can only imagine there's a whole lot of drag going on.
A little bit.
I think I would just let go. Get off the boogie board.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember renting one of those, and when I was in the Boy Scouts, we went to Australia and all that. We went to the beach one day, and you could rent one of those for like $10 or something. And I ate so much sand doing that. Oh my! And in Australia, and that was this was Australia.
Right.
And I'm not going to lie. That day we went out there, you could literally go like 3 feet out in the water before the water was like over your head.
Oh.
Like it was big time waves. Matter of fact, they had guys in the water wrangling you because of the undertow and everything. Like they had like lifeguards. It was Australia. So they had like singlets with the swimmer cap. And they were like blue and yellow, and they looked ridiculous. But they were out in the water keeping people from, getting undertowed too far down and all this other stuff. But yeah, that was intense. I remember I was like, man, this surfing sucks. Get me back to Ocean City where I can go like 30 feet out in the water before I start hitting things.
Well, and the problem with Australia is it's not that there's water, it's what's in the water.
Oh, yeah, they got everything in there in Australia.
16 different kinds of kill you.
I literally saw the desert thing, and I saw penguins. All in Australia.
Penguins?
Yeah. Yeah, what did he call them?
Pinwings?
Yeah. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Benedict Cumberbatch cannot say the word penguin.
Yeah.
Really?
He says penlings, he says pingwings.
It was like a whole video of him not saying penguins.
Ask my husband how to say Massachusetts.
I'm scared to ask.
Massachusetts.
What?
Nice.
He can't say Massachusetts. He says
John?
he says Massachusetts.
Massachusetts.
All right, we're going to have to work that into the next interview.
Or aluminum is aluminium.
That one has always bothered me because that's the British thing. Where's the extra N? Like when you look at it's aluminum. Aluminum. Here, how are you adding inium? It's the same thing with nuclear.
Hold on. Cinnamon is cinnamon.
Oh, cinnamon.
I think it's just when you see...
Vinegar is... I can't even remember how he says vinegar.
I was like, careful.
Yeah.
I need to fire up the delay here.
Vigoner. He says it vigoner.
Okay.
I'm going to get a text message in a minute.
I think people just...
Stop calling me out.
Well, to me, that's the Worcestershire sauce. Like, no one says that, but Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Who's your sister sauce?
I love all the videos.
Yeah,
They're like, who's your sister? Pass me the saucer sauce.
There's a guy who I think he's the same dude that does it's one of those seasonings, but he has a line of Worcestershire sauce. It's just called Wash Your Sister sauce.
Yeah, I mean, see, that's kind of that thing. Why did that one become so hard? Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
If you look at it, it's like the same thing with Worcester, Maine. I've always that's what I've called it for most of my life, and they're like, it's Worcester. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I've said 100 of those were towns, and like I'm telling you right now, there is a town in northern New Mexico called La Plata.
Mm-hmm.
There's the same said town 10 miles south of where I grew up in Maryland. It's called La Plata.
Yeah. I get it.
It was always La Plata.
I grew up next to a place that, most of the rest of the country would pronounce Fort Washita, but it's everybody that I've ever known was Fort Washita.
Yeah,
that's just how we always pronounced it.
The town of Stanton, Virginia, is another one. It's spelled S-T-A-U-N-T.
Staunton.
O-N or O-N
yeah,
or whatever.
It's Staunton.
It looks like Staunton, but you call it Staunton. That's how they know you're not from here. It ain't Staunton, Stanton.
We'll take your U out, and then it'll be Stanton.
Yeah.
And then there's that town in
birthplace of Woodrow Wilson, by the way, if you care.
Oh, I can't remember. I think it's in Massachusetts. It might be in Pennsylvania, and it's pronounced Mayanus. It's in Connecticut. Yeah, but it's spelled M-I-A-N-U-S.
Oh yeah, that's Mayanus.
There's a lot of great videos of hey look, there's a fire truck in Mayanus.
People of Mayanus.
People of But it's Mayanus is how it's pronounced. It's actually pronounced. But
fellow Mayanusins.
Mayanus citizens. Fellow Mayanians.
Mayanusites.
Are you an Illuminati?
Join me in putting on our aluminium hats.
I love their corn festival.
Everybody runs backwards. It's the weirdest thing.
They have a peanut festival and a corn festival.
They call it the Indicator Fest.
I love me some cracked corn, boys.
I don't care.
Weirdly enough, the band Korn performs at the Corn Festival every year.
Yeah, that's the headline.
Ooh, up, up.
Sponsored by Metamucil. And this brings us all the way back to yesterday's bifidus regularis.
That's right.
Sponsored by Activia.
We'll keep it regular.
Right. Maybe we should start the hour
Sorry,
now.
listeners. Sorry. Don't change your dial.
Oh, no, this is what keeps them here.
Right? They're talking about the Corn Festival, Mayanus.
The content does get better, I promise.
Crystal Noble going to join us from the Humane Society.
Yeah, he's
I just had this image of this festival. I've got a whole picture in my head. It's pretty good.
Yeah, Mike's all teary-eyed. His face is all red. He enjoyed a good laugh.
I got an image, and it's great. Think of that Michael J. Fox movie, Doc Hollywood.
Yeah.
But, like, in Mayanus. That's what I got going on right there.
Oh, my.
So, all right, 9:17. I'm done with the jokes. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Still some showers and thunderstorms hanging around today. We have that humid air coming in from the south. Mix of sun and clouds will be in the upper 80s on the afternoon high. Some lingering showers overnight will stay cloudy or low in the upper 60s. Mix of sunshine and clouds on Friday and a few more afternoon thunderstorms going up to about 90. Drying out for the weekend, sunny highs in the 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 72 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 79%. Winds are out of the north at 6 miles per hour. We do have a 30% chance at showers and thunderstorms for this afternoon, mainly after 3 p.m. Partly cloudy otherwise. Upper 80s, 88 for a high today with southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. Tonight, 20% chance at showers, mainly before 9 p.m. So doing the math here, between 3 p.m. and 9 p.m. is our sweet spot for rain today. Mostly cloudy, overnight low of 67, southeast winds at around 5 miles per hour. 30% chance at afternoon showers for you Friday, otherwise mostly sunny. I said it, mostly sunny. High of 92 with south winds at around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday night, 20% chance at showers and thunderstorms, mostly cloudy, overnight low of 68. Sunny and warm, 94 for a high on Saturday with winds out of the south, 5 to 10. Sunny and 96 on Sunday. And then 20% chance of rain Sunday night, a 40% on Monday with a high of 93, 40% Monday night. And then we're looking at a 30% Tuesday and Wednesday with highs in the low 90s. All right, 9:18. We're going to take a 2.5-minute break. And then Crystal Noble will officially join us wearing her Humane Society hat on the other side. Don't go away.
The summer of fun rolls on at Roswell Honda with a great selection of adventure-ready rides priced right so you'll be ready for whatever summer throws your way. Get 2.99% for up to 36 months on Honda Pilot, HR-V, and CR-V hybrids, 1.99% for 36 months on all Ridgeline, or 4.99% for 48 months on all new Civic, and truckloads of all new inventory too. Start your summertime adventure during the summer of fun at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Growing things in Roswell is a battle. Your lawn's trying to turn brown, your trees are wanting to turn yellow, the weeds want to take over, and the fleas and ticks are trying to move in. So come down to Roswell Seed Company and choose your weapons. We have fertilizer to make your lawn lush and lovely, iron to keep your trees nice and green, sprays to kill the weeds, and more sprays to chase away the fleas and ticks. This is Ben Manette from Roswell Seed Company. Yeah, it's a jungle out there, except it never rains.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
Did you know almost 75% of the time we're replacing a roof, something totally weird or unexpected or bizarre happens? Jennifer here again from Trustmark Roofing, and I want you to know that we are always prepared for the unexpected. That's why we always have project superintendent on site at your home at all times to handle those weird, bizarre things as they pop up. Things like an unexpected layer of wood shake shingles under your shingles, or rotted out decking boards, problems with flashing or ridges, or missing supplies that somebody needs to chase down. These are the kinds of problems that normally grind the crews from other roofing companies to a halt and delay the project. But not with our super awesome superintendent there. He's equipped to handle any problem and keep the project moving along smoothly. Just one more way we do things better at Trustmark Roofing. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The ball on top of a flagpole is called a truck. Mess with your friends today by pointing at a flagpole and say, "Hey, check out the truck on top of that flagpole." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 21 minutes after 9 o'clock. And joining us in the studio this morning, Crystal Noble back with us from the Roswell Humane Society. Good morning.
Good morning.
How's life with the puppies and the kitties this morning?
What?
Yeah.
No, we
have a new roof.
Yes.
Is it holding?
It's holding.
All
it's
right.
good.
Good.
It's just we have outside drains and gutters and all of that, and so when you have a large amount of water, it takes a little while for it to go down.
So I imagine the dogs have been spending more time indoors rather than getting all muddy out in the yard, that kind of thing.
Pretty much.
So hopefully, maybe.
And then now that all the thunder's over, a lot of their anxiety has calmed down.
I'm about to say, I never thought about that, but yeah, because that's not uncommon for animals to be sensitive to the weather.
No, and we have the middle building, so any loud sounds, it sounds like a bomb is going off right outside.
Is there like a big thing of puppy Dramamine you give them when they
Honestly, this time of the year, it's called Rescue Remedy.
Okay.
And so, like, if we know it's going to be thundering or a lot of fireworks and stuff, we give them all a little bit.
Gotcha. Makes sense. I mean, it's because, again, this is the thing I remind folks every time. And when you come to adopt an animal from the Humane Society, remind yourself you're seeing these animals in their worst environment.
Yes.
Their worst condition. They're in the kennels, and animals like to run and be free, and so they get, antsy, anxious. They get or they get quiet and reserved.
Some of them, a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, that dog's not barking."
Yeah.
A lot of dogs won't bark in an environment that they don't feel is their home.
Sure.
And so when they get home, and they get comfortable and relaxed, that might change. They might bark when they get home, but then they might not.
Can't shut them up sometimes, maybe.
Yeah. Some dogs are just not barkers, and some dogs are. So
they're
it's
like
hard.
people.
Yeah.
They have personalities, and everyone's different.
Just like one of our dogs is an Australian Shepherd. He doesn't per se bark. He yips at you.
Ah.
Like, yip.
Yeah.
Like just trying to get like a little whistle, like he's trying to whistle at you.
Gotcha. It's like a little chirp.
Yeah. But he doesn't like bark, but I'm pretty sure, if he got home and a squirrel was running across the fence, he's going to be like,
Sure.
my fence, get off.
He's using his indoor voice.
Yes. I tell our Great Dane all the time, we're not in a train station, use your indoor voice.
That's right. And so I always remind, so when you do come to visit and looking for those perfect pets, that's why they encourage you to use the meet and greet room and do all this, because that way you get some one-on-one time with the animal and you get to really see some more of its personality.
And a lot of the times they're going to act different, even just going from in the kennel area up into the front area.
Sure, where it's quieter.
It is quieter. You
mean,
you don't have 100 dogs barking trying to get your attention up front.
Not that I've spent a lot of time in prison, but I've seen enough movies like when they're in prison, everyone's loud and screaming and hollering, especially when the new fish is coming in and all that stuff. And the kennel's kind of like that all the time, especially when a person walks in.
Yes, a new person that they're not familiar with, it's like the crowd goes wild.
And so to be in that environment and then the dog walks out, it's quiet. I mean, you're seeing it's just like you as a human. You're like, oh, okay, now I can think. Now the dog's doing the same thing.
Right? The dog's like, all right.
Yeah.
I'm not listening to 1,000 people
or the cat
talking.
or whatever. Yeah, exactly. These are living, breathing things. They're very. No, they can't live and communicate and do everything like humans, but they have personalities. They have wants, desires, just like you, and they like to be comfortable, just like you. They don't like to be not uncomfortable. They pretty much everything you like, and they're pretty much the same.
I laugh because we have a group of kittens that are from the same litter, and I swear they talk to each other throughout the day because you hear meow meow meow, just chitter chatter back, and then you hear one of them get like real annoyed meow, and I'm like, oh, they said something they didn't like. They didn't like the end of that conversation.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they have. They can tell. Like even with our own cats, I could see like when one does something and it's the other one. Right there. What are you doing? Chicken out? They
why are you doing that? You're going to get in trouble.
They'll smack each other. Don't get me wrong. But they still, anytime one of them has a distressful moment, the other runs up like sniffing and looking and like, you okay? You okay? You okay? It's just what, they have relationships. They care. They love. They do everything just like you do. That's why we're so adamant about when you adopt a pet, if you're not willing to treat it like a member of your family, maybe you shouldn't adopt a pet. And that's what this is all about. If you're, now there's ordinances that aren't gonna let you chain up in animals and stuff. But if that was your lifestyle to begin with,
a lot of people, that are coming in, are, even though you live in, like, let's say an apartment complex and there's really nowhere for you to chain an animal outside, you still have to have a fenced-in area connected to the apartment. So that way when you let the animal outside, they're not having to be leashed or chained up. And they have area to roam around. Now, if your apartment complex has a little doggy area that you walk your dogs to, okay.
Yeah.
But you still need an area attached to your house. So that way if your door does open, the dog's not flying out and running. Because a lot of the apartment complexes are off of busy roads.
Sure. Yeah, there's busy streets. Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, I think a lot of apartment complexes don't allow them dogs to begin with.
A lot of the things that we're seeing now is like a lot of renters in town are not allowing pets. So when we ask people, are you sure you're allowed to rent? Make
is it
sure
in your lease?
Yeah, make sure it's in your lease, or if you have to pay a pet deposit. Check into that stuff first, just because we don't want to go through the entire process, get everything approved, and then you get the animal home, and then your landlord's like, sorry, you can't have the pet.
Or then I've also heard clauses too. It's like, okay, well, you can't have a dog, but you can have a cat. And
and then there's some places, you can have a dog, but it can't be over 30 pounds.
Sure.
Or you can have.
Now, with the humane society, you're always going to have that fenced-in aspect, regardless of the dog's 100 pounds or 12. It doesn't matter. The dog needs to go out, and it can. Guess what? 12-pound dog can get away quick.
Yes, they can move a lot faster.
Yeah.
But we do home inspections to make sure that, whatever animal of interest you're looking at is going to be suitable for what you have.
Sure.
Because, Huskies and German Shepherds and bigger dogs, they don't do well in apartment complexes. They're an active dog.
They got to run.
They got to run. They got to have room to move. And a a lot of people don't understand that. They're like, oh, well, I see my neighbor who's got a Rottweiler. Well, that Rottweiler's like 13 years old and doesn't run and move like that no more. So
but when it was a puppy or 2-year-old,
right,
that thing had bundles of energy. Yeah.
Yes. So a lot of people think that, it's too hard to adopt from us. Unfortunately, we do have a lot of rules and policies because we are trying to eliminate the animals being returned back to the facility.
I get it. And then there's a lot of people, they're probably going to be very good owners, even though your facilities don't meet the requirements here. And we understand that. But unfortunately, you can't make the exception, because the moment you do, then it opens the floodgates, and then everybody does it. And then we're back to square one.
Yeah.
Where we are, and by no stretch of imagination are we, back into controls and normalcy of animals and overpopulation and all that. That's the reason we have these issues, is because people aren't being responsible pet owners. And so not getting your pet spayed or neutered, that's number one right there. That's, the feral cats, the things in the neighborhood, that's all. Because guess what? When two cats get together at a certain time of year, they're going to do things. And that's what happens. It's just nature,
and then
folks.
60 days later, you got babies.
It's nature. And so if we're not doing things to prevent that, every time these animals go into heat, we're going to have a new litter at the Humane Society every single time. And we kind of have it anyway.
We do.
There is cat season around here, and there's a time where, there's more cats than anything else in the shelter, just because of these very things that people aren't doing.
We had a mild winter in like an actual spring. We actually had a spring and
so
not a
that's going to be worse
summer.
for probably parvo and stuff too. Here
it is
those lack of cold temperatures are breeding grounds for these diseases that really can decimate.
They never stopped from last year. It's still continuous. We got people calling in saying, hey, my dog has this and this and this symptom, and what do I do? We always direct them to go to their local vet if they don't have a vet, to find a vet, because unfortunately we don't have a vet on staff. So if there's an issue with any one of the animals at the kennels, we take them to one of the vets here in town.
Whatever one's available.
Yeah, we call and say, hey,
just like everybody else.
Do you have an appointment? This is what's going on. Can I bring the cat or dog down?
Yeah. I imagine you have relationships with most of the vets, and they can, all right, and they'll work around it. We'll help you guys.
So a lot of the times, when I call and I say, hey, it's not an emergency, but can you get me in?
Serious nature.
Yeah. They're very willing to work with us and get us in quickly. And then there's times where I'm like, hey, it is an emergency issue, and they're like, come right now.
Yeah.
So just depending on the situation,
Sure.
And it's the same for people. Like when you call and say, hey, my dog's doing this, they're going to be like, okay, we can get you in at 3:00 this afternoon and grab a sample.
Yeah.
But you just have to call them and talk to them.
And a lot of things nowadays, it's lab work. Anytime that the pet is experiencing symptoms, is it serious? I don't know. I got to do lab work, and once that determines, I can tell you, yeah, it's very serious, or no, it's just a thing. It'll pass.
Right. And a lot of people will call us for funding for vet bills. We don't have that kind of funding.
Now, from time to time, you'll get some spay or neuter voucher discounts.
We do,
but as far as health care for your pets, no. Now, that being said, I'm sure they can turn you on to some nonprofits and may be able to help out in those situations. Maybe not directly for that money, but if there's other needs you have there.
There are a few people that will network on Facebook, for like GoFundMe's, or like they'll set up an account at a certain vet's office. But for the most part, everybody's hurting just the same.
Sure.
Donations are down.
And I've never looked into pet health care insurance yet. I have no idea what that costs a month.
And about the same as human.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it'd be cheaper.
Your deductibles are lower.
Yeah.
But we have there's care credit out there. You just have to apply for it. And then basically it's just like a credit card for medical.
Gotcha.
And even you could use it for yourself personally and not just your animals. You could use it at the dentist.
All right, who got the rabies vaccination? You or the dog?
Right. Yeah. And, they allow you to make payments on that too. So for the people that aren't able to, foot the bill up front, that is an alternative way.
Sure. Yeah. But again, this goes back to, if you don't think you can handle that, maybe this is not the time for you to adopt a pet.
Right.
I mean, it's no different than kids. And I get it, Most people are like, yeah, do you think I plan these kids? No, I get that. But, that's what, with a dog, you get to plan it. With a cat, you get to plan it.
Right.
And so if you know that that your finances are going to be strained to a point that you don't know if you could do this, then maybe now is not the time to adopt that.
If if you're just missing some affection, and you just financially can't have a pet, come down and volunteer.
Come volunteer, absolutely.
Come hang out with the cats or dogs, and then that way you're getting,
get the love on them, take it on walks like right now. I imagine it's good with the weather. You could probably, because it's not too high. I mean, here in a couple of days it might be too bad, but with the rain and everything, maybe you can walk a dog or two.
Gotta let the park dry out just a little
bit. But,
it's a sinking muddy mess.
But maybe in the mornings you could at least take them out on the sidewalks and the street and
we
stuff.
do. We have a lot of volunteers that have been coming between 8 and 8:30, and about 10 o'clock it's already getting too hot. So they're coming in about 8 or 8:30, and getting a couple of dogs out to the park and walking them. And as long as it's not over 90 degrees that day, it's typically pretty good up until about 11 a.m.
Which reminds me. Probably shoot this message out because I don't think we'll see you between now and then. I know next week is UFO Festival.
And 4th of July.
4th of July. Please, please, please. I know they got the pet costume contest and all kinds of stuff, and they encourage you to bring your pets downtown. If they don't have the shoes, the protection to walk, then don't bring them.
Because when it's 90 degrees outside, that asphalt's like 125. And
unless
then
you're going to physically carry them around everywhere until you get to the grass on the courthouse lawn, then you don't need to be bringing their pets out there without protection, because they will burn their feet. And conversely, if you put those on and just like you, water them regularly, hit the things, bring the water, the dish, the dump bottles of water in for your dog, just as much as for yourself and your kids and the rest of your family.
Yes, and with it, people already starting off the fireworks. I tell everybody every year, I sound like a broken record. If you're going to light fireworks off, make sure your animals are inside, secure in a comfortable area. If you have a dog that has anxiety, get a kennel. Put them in a kennel, cover the kennel, and put them in a quiet place so that way it's a less stressful environment for them.
A dog that will never, ever leave your backyard when panicked because of gunshots or fireworks will bust through that fence.
Yes.
They don't care. When they get into flight or fight mode, it's just like the adrenaline pumps. They do amazing feats of strength. They do anything to get out of that situation to survive. I've heard so many stories of dogs that are gentle, docile things. The fireworks exposed, they go crazy, they break through, and you find them 5 miles later or 5 places. You find them nowhere near where you're at. They have that ability, and that's why you've got to be cognizant of that. And especially if you never have a history with this dog and you don't know, err on the side of caution.
Right. And even like if you live out in the county, be aware of other people's livestock. It scares cows, horses, donkeys.
Certain veterans, just so you know, too.
Well, yeah. There's veterans out there that freak out. And we understand it's a celebration for, Independence Day.
Mm-hmm.
However, you have
be
to
a good neighbor.
Be responsible, be respectful to people around you.
Yeah.
Like we have people that live out behind us that start shooting their guns off at night, and it terrifies our horse. I have to drug our horse because they shoot.
Yep.
And they're not shooting fireworks; they're shooting their guns.
Firing off their guns. Yep.
What goes up must come down.
And I get it now. I get it. I grew up in a little bit more urban area, and we didn't have as much of that there. Although downtown DC, they shoot a lot of guns there too.
But
usually they're 38 specials though, not shotguns. But
just
anyway.
be mindful of people around you. Be mindful of animals around you. Yes, it is a celebration, but there's a lot of other ways to celebrate than blowing something up or hurting somebody's animals or hurting somebody.
Or at least talk with your neighbors and stuff if they have. Hey, we're going to shoot fireworks off, and the dog going to be okay, or whatever. Be neighbors. Be good about this. And so I guarantee there's going to be at least 1 or 2 of those incidents on 4th of July weekend where they deal with the neighbors. Someone's going overzealous or running around in someone's yard blowing something else up, or someone's dog escapes, or
And even with all the amount of rain that we have had, that does not mean that you cannot start a fire.
Oh, absolutely not. We live in the desert. We live in guess what? Wait a week. It'll be dry and brittle.
It's going to be dry by Sunday.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just where we live. But that being said, please remember all of that, and especially if you're going to come be a part of UFO Festival and bring the pets out, which is great. Just protect them. Make sure they have the shoes so they don't walk barefoot on the sidewalks and the streets out there. Have plenty of water, plenty of shade. I mean, don't hang out in the sun too long with your dogs. Get them in the shade. Get them, when you start getting hot, guess what? They're starting to get hot.
They're probably been hotter before you because their body temperature runs a lot higher.
Exactly, because they're covered in fur.
And they don't sweat like we do.
Yeah, it all comes out their tongue, panting. It's just
yes.
And so please be mindful of that when you're out celebrating next week.
I do have some stuff for the thrift store.
Yes, good time to come shop, and
yes.
We are right in that spot where kids will be going to college here in a little bit. So I'm telling you right now, before you start going to the big box stores, buying your kids microwaves and coffee pots and plates and things like that for their dorm rooms, come to the thrift store, get better quality products that someone already paid sticker price for, that your kid's going to destroy 3 months into the semester. Just go there, buy the microwave. You paid $10 for it when they broke it by November. No big deal.
Yep.
Go get another $10 one at the Humane Society.
So for today, all ladies' jeans are going to be half off.
Nice. Ladies? Ladies?
I know. Calling all ladies. Yes, we know it's not the time of the year. However, people donate stuff to us throughout the entire year, so they have sweaters and jackets.
Oh, you'll be needing them in a couple
off.
months. And then now's the time to buy them cheap, not when everyone needs them and no one has them.
Yes. So 75% off. Bathing suits. They have bathing suits on sale for $5 a piece.
And you can use those today.
You can. They have beach towels, pool towels.
Nice.
So lots of those.
And it's always good to have a collection of those. Just
They
to
are.
have in the house.
Our collection gets used for the dogs.
I'm about to say that if you have pets, you should have a collection of beach towels.
Yeah.
Because you will need to be cleaning up very. You know what I saw on? If I see them like for available, is they had those little wet floor signs. They had mini ones that said cat vomit. I was like, we could use some of those at our house from time to time.
Oh, that's funny. They have a table with 6 chairs for $50. It's a really nice table. Somebody
like indoor dining table.
Indoor dining table.
Nice.
It's got like a wood trim, and then the center is like tile.
Probably paid $1,000 for that thing brand new, or at least, yeah.
Lamps. If you guys any lamp collectors out there,
okay.
They got lots of lamps. Vacuum cleaners. We know there are people that like to tinker with them and do fun stuff, and so they've got sharks, they've got Bissels.
Okay.
They've got quite a bit of a collection of vacuum cleaners.
I remember back in the Boys Life magazine, they used to have that thing to make a hovercraft kit, and I think they used a vacuum cleaner thing to do that.
Shoes. Lots of shoes.
All right, for all those
from dress
shoe fetish
shoes,
folks.
summer shoes, hiking shoes. This is the time of the year where people are out, hiking and
Sure.
camping and doing all that stuff. They got a ton
Go up in the
of
mountains.
camping equipment, canning jars. It
Nice.
is canning season.
Camping equipment get very expensive. If you can buy that stuff pre-owned and on the cheap, because you could easily drop thousands of dollars on sleep bags and tents. I know. You can get them for a third of that price at the Humane Society.
Yes. They have a really cool telescope.
Okay.
So this is a star season.
Nice.
So
And I know we got our Star Party folks out there. Anybody looking to maybe get one on the cheap?
yeah, because isn't there the star thing in Maljamar coming up? Don't they do that in like July?
I know they do that, and I know when the Dragonfly Festival, they usually have a big Star Party before that, and they'll go out to usually like one of those missile silos or whatever where we can't go to, and where it's uber dark, and they'll go out there and watch the sky.
Yeah. Lots of blankets. So yes, it's not blanket season right now. However, it will be.
You know what? I would offer this. If you'd like to buy them up and donate them to like Food Not Bombs and the homeless coalitions and stuff, especially when they have these, like hypothermia was a thing earlier, with the rains and they're stuck out there, and those blankets would be a godsend. So if someone would like to buy them up and then maybe donate them, if you don't have a need for them yourself, to a Food Not Bombs or the Homeless Coalition or any of these organizations, that'd be great. Just an idea.
Yeah, there is lots of endless ways you could do.
Yep.
So, if you have like your own special like dog blankets, like our dogs have their own blankets.
Oh yeah.
There's a lot of like dog and cat-sized blankets.
Okay.
So
create a little pallet for them or whatever. Yeah.
Or like just stuff their dog bed and like a whole bunch of blankets on it.
You don't have to be like crazy like us. Remember we bought that like Tempur-Pedic bed.
Our dogs have.
Yeah.
Our dogs have a Tempur-Pedic.
I think it was like as much as our bed.
Yeah. It's like the size of this table.
Oh yeah,
in
it
here.
was huge. Yeah, and it was monogrammed. It was the whole deal. Yeah, we went way over the top on that.
Do you know who lays on that more than the dogs? John.
It's because that's where he gets sent when he does the bad thing.
No, he grabs a pillow and he throws himself on there, and then the dogs all cuddle with them, and I'm like, whatever.
Hey, whatever floats your boat.
We have a very unique china hutch where it's got the bowed glass on the front.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And
Collector's
then,
piece, probably.
Probably more like on the antique side.
Okay,
So
this probably has some value on the outside.
Yeah.
If someone wants to,
and then
praise it.
like medical, like wheelchairs, little miscellaneous supplies, medical supplies. They
Okay.
get a lot of it, when people, don't need it anymore. Insurance paid for it. They donate it.
Do you get a lot of the like those rolling walkers where it has like the wheels and usually because I know a lot of people have a need for those and,
They get a
those
lot
can
of
get expensive. when
The
you buy new ones.
rollator, they're called rollators. They
Yeah.
get a lot of those. They also get a lot of just like the regular metal walkers.
Okay. With the tennis ball and the
Yeah. And now they make special tennis balls that are already pre-cut to go
Well,
on there. I
and-
was like, no, I'm just gonna go buy a dog tennis ball and cut it and pop it on there.
Well, and I've seen like Kim's grandmother when she was using hers. There was like a phase where they it's like remember that show Pimp My Ride?
Yes.
It's like Pimp My Walker, and they would go and put all kinds of things on this thing. It was
So,
horns and bells and whistles and everything else.
When Jim Gill had twisted his knee or
Yeah.
something, the doctor had told him to use a walker just to support himself so
Yeah.
that way he wouldn't hurt
Sure.
his knee. Well, he said that was more of a death trap than walking without it, but that was just his way of saying I don't want to use it.
Right.
And then so they got crutches for him and he wouldn't use the crutches. So they basically pimped his walker and crutches. They taped the crutches to the walker. They put those yellow flags on it. They put a cup holder for his coffee.
Nice.
They put a horn on it.
Yeah, they gave him
lights.
amenities.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way to go. Like,
So-
I think one had a handbrake. I'm like, man, how fast you going?
That's so you don't roll downhill.
Like, I got a brakes on this thing. I go so fast, but yeah. But yeah, that's a thing.
Yes, you lift up the seat. There's storage.
So if you need some of those,
Yes, they have a lot of. Normally they always have a lot of crutches. Why I don't know, but they always get crutches.
yeah.
So
I think people get them, sprain ankle, and then they done with them, and they just donate them. Or
I see them
sell
as
in
a
garage.
weapon.
What there was lots of uses.
That's what I see them as.
Look, you could even monitor and put like a little grabber and use it to grab things if you wanted to.
I have a step stool and a spatula.
Yeah. Kim's got a grab. She uses I've seen her more than one time use the tongs, like the tongs used to pull your corn out or whatever. She literally just down the stool and use the tongs to grab get a cup or whatever. Yeah.
John laughs at me because I have a special spatula. It's not used for cooking. It's used for getting things off the top shelf.
That's my whacking spatula.
I told him, I was like, that's my reacher. Don't touch that.
And I whack you with it too, and you're out of reach.
No, he gets the marble rolling pin when he's in trouble.
Nice. That's got some weight. It's my Cristal motor rolling pin.
Yeah.
It's Murkowski Cristal. I got it from Tiffany's.
It's a 10-pound marble
Weighs
rolling
about 50
pin.
pounds. I just laid on bread and it just flattens out. It's the Chuck Norris of rolling pins. It just looks at dough and it goes flat.
Yeah, he was still in tortillas while I was making them, so he got hit with the rolling pin.
All right. Well, sometimes you're the hitter, sometimes you're the hittee. It just happens.
He wouldn't listen. I warned him.
And that's why he was on the dog bed later that night.
Yeah. Out on the back porch with the doors locked.
Absolutely. But like we said, if you're looking for great stuff, I mean, there's all. I would make a thing if you're looking for, like, if you have a thing, you're like, I need to get a new. Think of the thrift store first, because the odds are times you can find it there and then find it very affordable.
I know this is not in our normal for us in this deserty area, but
Uh-huh.
like people that like travel up north to go fishing, like in the San Juan River and stuff. The waders, the pants.
Oh, the
with
hip
boots,
waders, they got them all.
the suspenders that come up to here.
Oh no,
They got 3 pair of them. However, the only thing is they're not like the shoe sizes are for like a smaller to medium sized foot, and then like it's an all in one.
Okay.
So basically, you're just hopping in it and then pulling it up like suspenders.
Okay, and you got it like
or
size
trousers.
8 feet or something.
Yeah. So, but they're brand new.
Eh?
And they got
I
3
don't
pair of
know.
them, and those things are expensive.
You probably could have been useful this week in certain situations in town. You know, I'm just saying.
Right? Yes.
Hey, when the water ski team meets at Lake Home Depot later
They could
today,
go get some. Yeah. See?
But yeah, so if you need some hip waders,
Yes,
or,
and these ones actually go all the way up to the chest.
Nice.
So, and then they have like the extra little fishing pockets, so you can put your
Nice.
lures
You
or
put
whatever
your
you're
lures
using in it.
your beer, your fishing lures.
Yeah, your lures.
That's right. Very cool. And again, you probably pay hundreds of dollars online or in a store brand new for these things.
Those things go for like $600.
Yeah. I mean, what are you selling for them at the
50.
$50, exactly. You know, that's amazing. So come on down, pick it up. Even if you don't need it, grab it anyway. And I don't even need it. I just nice to have. You never know.
Right. You never know when it's gonna flood again around
Our
here.
next 100-year flood will happen soon. You'll be like, I'm hip wadered up. Let's do this.
Ain't nothing gonna get me through the water.
That's right. I can go through that brown, weird water, whatever that nastiness is. Good deal. And here's another thing too. Like, if you're on the lookout for things, don't hesitate to let the staff know, and they'll look for you. Like, hey, I collect Coke products or whatever it is. Whenever you get a new Coke bottle or Coke clock or whatever, would you mind telling me? And sure, no, they do that stuff for folks all the time out there.
If there's a certain like furniture that you're looking for or something like that, just let them know. Camille's
Certain
really
size
good.
shoes or certain size clothing or like if you're looking for like some medical care stuff, it's, you know, you get wheelchairs and you know, pretty much anything and anything comes across your table every once in a while here. It just happens.
Yeah.
So and then I'd also like to invite folks to become members of the Humane Society.
And we're
too.
getting ready to send out the next newsletter. I will be going to Tesco to get that printed today.
Okay.
So.
And that's a great way to support, because your membership dues, and everybody, your pets, your kids, your whole family, businesses, anybody can be a member of the Humane Society. You get to be a part of the monthly newsletter. You get the annual meetings. You get your say in all that. But what really helps is that your membership fees pay for vet bills, pay for cleaning supplies, pay for the day-to-day operations of the Humane Society. So between your buying stuff at the Humane Society thrift store and you becoming a member, those are the 2 big ways to keep the doors open and keep operations going.
Yes.
That's why we get so mad when people steal from the donation thing and tear it up and all that, because you're really taking food out of the dog's mouth by doing that. That's what you're doing.
That's in a nutshell.
And y'all want to play, but people need it. All right, you're going to rip it out of this poor dog's mouth to get it? Okay. You want to play that? You want to play the guilt game? Let's play the guilt game.
Well, if they needed it that bad, they could come in during business hours and
That's
talk
what
to
we're
Camille.
saying. And to be honest, I know it's gotten a little better with people trying to work with you guys and things like that, and that's not been as big an issue as it was a couple months ago.
No, but I would like to remind people, if you are needing something and you are having hard times, come in, talk to Camille.
Absolutely.
Don't feel embarrassed, because everybody goes through a time in their life where they're just down. And
you know what? There's volunteers and people that work at the Humane Society that, quite frankly, are probably one bill away from being in the same situation you are. All of us are in some cases.
Right. So don't feel ashamed. Everybody needs help from time to time. Come in, talk to Camille, explain your situation, and, just say, I could use some help. And then she'll be like, okay, can you come in and volunteer for a few hours on these days and work for what we're going to give you? And then that way, you're giving back to what you're getting.
Not to mention, you might find a passion or a new thing that you're into. And you say, well, I didn't realize how much fun I enjoyed doing this. And next thing you know, you're a regular and you're there. And who knows, maybe adopting pets and doing. That's what it is. This is an organization of people just trying to make the best for these pets, and at the end of the day, help each other out. And so, please, when you're thinking about bringing a pet into your home, please come to the Humane Society. And I'm telling you right now, if there's not a pet that doesn't sing to you or just doesn't connect with you, walk right next door to Animal Control. Either way, you're rescuing a pet. You're doing the right thing. You know, when you see the people doing the puppy mill stuff at the Walmart parking lot, report that stuff. This is the reason we have these problems. If you see people with chained up dogs in there, report them.
Yes, call Animal Control.
If you saw a child in that same situation, you do the same thing. It's no different.
I agree.
Yep.
And just a reminder to everybody, the kennels, their store, and I do believe Animal Control, we will all be closed on July 4th.
For the 4th of July holiday.
Yes. Now, we will be back open on the 5th of July. I don't know what Roswell Animal Services hours are going to be because that is on a Saturday. And they're only open 1 to 4 on Saturdays as it is.
And I got a feeling 4th of July, you're probably going to be having people.
The 5th of July is
like the kennel will have people in it just to keep on tabs on the animals.
The busiest day of the year is the January 1st and the 5th of July.
Yeah, those are, and so someone will be there to tend to the needs of if they get a little amped up because of fireworks and everything going.
Yes.
But in the meantime, come on down and shop. We got sounds like probably a great selection of cats and dogs right now, based on what I've been seeing online and everything. So if you're looking for pets, there's a great variety to choose from.
Yes, we do. We have lots of dogs, lots of cats, kittens. I'm just gonna bring Freckles over later.
I'm about to
for a
say
little meet and
that
greet.
cat's already gotten people's heart. I was like, put it this way: had Hannah not been in our house, that cat would be scooped up. I'm just telling you, I don't want to ruin Hannah's bringing that.
I could do like a special meet and greet.
I only got room for one diva in the house. She thinks it's her, but it's Hannah.
Look, we could have a play date and just see how things go.
I would love that. Yeah, don't tempt me, but
I'll just send a wire kennel and we'll set it up. And
if I didn't feel so bad for Hannah, I would do it because I love the cat. Looks cool and looks like perfect, jives with our personality, just everything.
Oh, she's a hoot.
Yeah. If you can't have an animal and be entertained by hours by doing just dumb things in your house, you shouldn't be a pet owner. That's
Yeah.
the way it is. So, they create all stuff. But thank you as always. We'll see you.
Thank
See you next time. And find a home for Freckles. If you want a really cool cat, it's going to be a little.
He's trying to get somebody to come down and get the cat, so Kim does it.
For the sake of my Hannah, please adopt Freckles.
I told you we could do an introduction. You never know. Hannah might be like best friend.
I know Hannah better than any person on the planet. She would hate that cat. This is the cat that chases me into the bathroom and hangs out of my underpants while I go to the bathroom. This cat and I are joined at the hip. All right, 9:56. Let's do some news before they kick me off the radio. Don't go away.
Now for your Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. The New Mexico Department of Transportation is now in the design phase for the Rio Felix Bridge on 285 south of Roswell. The design will include the construction of new support piers for additional lane capacity and structural support. The bridge sustained significant structure damage on the south side during the floods last year. Initial emergency repairs to reinforce the damage were finished earlier this year, so that's allowed the bridge to reopen one lane of traffic each direction. During the repairs, the need for more work to restore and strengthen the bridge was identified, extending the project completion deadline. The case of a missing Eddy County man comes to a tragic end. Police confirm 32-year-old Jacob Arredondo Cabazuela has been found dead near Harkness Road and Thomason on June 20th. Cabazuela had been reported missing from Carlsbad earlier this month. Police have not given any other details about the death, but they ask anyone who might have information to please call 575-887-7551. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Still some showers and thunderstorms hanging around today. We have that humid air coming in from the south. Mix of sun and clouds will be in the upper 80s on the afternoon high. Some lingering showers overnight will stay cloudy or low in the upper 60s. Mix of sunshine and clouds on Friday and a few more afternoon thunderstorms going up to about 90. Drying out for the weekend, sunny, highs in the 90s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Unemployment filings hit a 6-week low last week. No signs of an increase in layoffs. A revised estimate of economic growth in the first quarter shows the economy shrank 0.5% January through March. The contraction came on a surge of imports ahead of higher tariffs. Following a quiet Wednesday on Wall Street, the stock market opened higher this morning. Investors catching their breath following recent bouts of market volatility. British oil giant Shell is denying reports that it's looking to buy rival BP. The Wall Street Journal says Shell was holding early-stage talks to acquire its smaller rival, citing people familiar with the matter. Shell repeatedly denies speculation that it's considering a takeover, saying it's focused on streamlining and simplifying its own business. Oil prices have stabilized after plunging roughly $10 per barrel. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
No static at all. Your new home for talk radio is KEND Roswell.
And that's going to do it for us. Thank you so much for allowing us to be a part of your day. We'll be back bright and early, 7 a.m. tomorrow. Have an amazing day. Till then, take care, everybody.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. There is evidence in Ukraine Russia has deployed new drone technology from Iran.
Last week, Ukrainian drone hunters searching through the debris of Russia's nightly assault on their cities found a drone that was different to the rest. A Ukrainian drone expert said it had an AI platform and a radio link, allowing an operator to pilot it remotely from Russia. He said it also contained new Iranian-made anti-jamming technology. Experts told AP it's highly possible it was sold by Iran to Russia to test in combat. Iran sold attack drone technology to Russia since 2022, but experts say Israel's strikes on Iran could potentially constrict Russia's ability to advance its drone program. I'm Emma Burrows.
A new threat of cyber